The school belle just had a massive blowout fight with me, but by the very next day I had vanished. Since that day, it was as if I had completely evaporated from her life. Neither my classmates nor teachers knew where I'd gone. It wasn't until she went all the way to my house that she discovered. My family had moved away as well. Finally, out of desperation, she tearfully begged her father to use his connections to go to the police station and look up my ID information. The news she received was that this person didn't exist. At that moment, Lin Qingxue had only one single thought in her head, that the boy she deeply loved was dead. For the past 3 years, she always believed that. 3 years later, I successfully completed a national scientific research mission. Upon returning, I learned Lin Qingxue was a sophomore at Capital University City. To make up for my high school regrets, even though I was more than qualified to be a professor at Huaqing University, I chose to join Capital University instead, becoming a first-year freshman at the school. At the freshman reception desk for the School of Management, Capital University, Lin Qingxue was sitting casually on a chair in the reception area. Just by sitting there quietly, she attracted a huge crowd. Qingxue, you really live up to your title as the #1 belle. Recognized by our entire Capital University, look at those newly arrived underclassmen. The moment they see you, their eyes are glued to you and won't look away. I bet once this registration period ends, there's no telling how many underclassmen will be scouring the campus for info on you. Just ignore them. Anyway, I'm not interested in that whole dating thing. Compared to dating these guys, going to Lake Wyoming with you all to feel the night breeze, or hitting the snack street for a late night bite, isn't that much more romantic than love? However, after she finished speaking, the light in Lin Qingxue's eyes suddenly flickered with a hint of sadness. Going to Lake Wyoming to feel the breeze? Going to the snack street outside the North Gate for BBQ? Or going to the school library to read together, then skipping class to watch him play in the basketball tournament? She had said these exact words years ago to that boy. It's just a shame that on the current campus, among so many students passing by, though some have eyes like his, some have a nose like his, and even some have a way of speaking like his, unfortunately, those people after all are not him. Li Qian saw the melancholic look in Lin Qingxue's eyes and immediately felt worried. Qingxue, you aren't still hung up on that boyfriend who passed away 3 years ago, are you? The story of Lin Qingxue. Her roommates in the dorm basically all knew a naive high school romance, whether it was puppy love or a secret crush during youth. Who hasn't experienced something similar? But even if it was a deep bond, those 3 years have already passed. Why not try starting a new journey? Lin Qingxue understood Li Qian's good intentions and gave a carefree smile. Actually, it's not even about being hung up. It's just that right now, I still can't bring myself to like anyone else. Lin Qingxue grabbed Li Qian's hand. Alright, don't just stand there dazed. The freshmen should all be on campus by now. Hurry up and go to the school gate to welcome them. Who knows, maybe this year, our department will have some handsome underclassmen. I catch your side, that makes sense? Saying that, she quickly left the reception desk and headed to the school gate to greet the freshmen. Lin Qingxue breathed a sigh of relief. Her slightly reddened eyes blinking a few times, she seemed to drift back to those days, dozing off during math class, passing notes during literature class, copying song lyrics during self-study hours. That period of time, where even a 10-minute break was enough to dream a beautiful dream. Time really flies. A summer breeze blew past, messing up a few strands of the young girl's hair. Lin Qingxue slightly raised her head, her expression suddenly showing a hint of loss. If only he were still here right now, it would be so good. In front of the Capital University gate, I held my suitcase, looking up at the majestic school gate before my eyes. My mind, which was supposed to be rippleless, suddenly surges of emotion began to swell up. My departure without a word of farewell back then, she must have been very heartbroken. I took a deep breath and slowly stepped inside. After walking just a few steps, Li Qian, who was wearing an armband as a freshman reception volunteer, enthusiastically walked up to me. Hey, underclassman, which department are you in? I'm a volunteer, guiding freshmen through registration. Let me take you to complete the procedures. I'm in the School of Management, and as it happens, I'm not very familiar with the way, so I'll trouble you, senior. No trouble at all. What a coincidence, I'm also in the School of Management. Turns out you're an underclassman in the same department as me. Li Qian reached out intending to help carry my suitcase. Give the suitcase to me. I'll lead you over there to register. I quietly and skillfully pulled the suitcase back a bit. It's okay, the stuff inside is a bit heavy. I can carry it myself. Li Qian didn't mind. She gave a generous smile. That's fine too. Just follow me closely then. So Li Qian led me toward the freshman reception desk inside the school. After a few steps, I looked up and asked the senior, if you are a senior in our School of Management, then I'd like to ask a bit. Do you know Senior Lin Qingxue? Li Qian immediately nodded, her eyes showing a teasing look. Of course I do. You're quite well informed for an underclassman, huh? Just arrived at school and already asking about who the most beautiful school belle of our academy is. Are you also interested in the great, our school belle Lin? The senior Lin and I went to the same high school. It was also because of her that I chose to enter the School of Management at Capital University. Li Qian was a bit surprised and quickly shot me a look. I get it, so you came here out of admiration? Kids these days really are something else. But since you two went to the same high school, you must have heard the stories about your senior, Lin. I paused for a moment, In my memory, Lin Qingxue, back in high school, was always a top student. Besides titles like School Belle and Top Scholar, I really didn't know Lin Qingxue had any other stories. Does ranking second in the entire grade every time count? Because the one who ranked first in the grade was me. At that moment, the phone in my pocket suddenly rang. I looked at Li Tian apologetically. Sorry, let me take this call. Then I picked up the phone and answered. Professor Lu, it's Xiao Wu here. This Professor Lu is a professor at Capital University. Although he isn't very old, he has already become one of the prestigious professors specializing in electronics and physical electronics in the country. Currently, he is the executive dean in charge of scientific research at the School of Information and Electronics of Capital University. During 3 years at the scientific research base, he relied on his specialized knowledge to win over a series of prestigious domestic professors, along with many professors in other specialized fields, while also accumulating a network of connections that was not small at all. From the phone came the hearty voice of a middle-aged man. Chief Engineer Su, I'm truly sorry. According to the original plan, I was supposed to be at the school gate to welcome your enrollment. But a project from above suddenly ran into issues, needing me to lend a hand. So I'm currently not in Capital City. I'm truly sorry. The higher-ups project is the top priority. I'm fine, really. I'm about to complete the enrollment procedures now, but I still don't quite understand. With your level of scientific research, you could completely replace a PhD candidate. So why do you suddenly want to attend university? Chief Engineer Su, I'll stick to what I said before. As soon as you make up your mind, I can immediately submit a report to the higher-ups to make you an honorary professor at our capital university. If you want to teach, we can even specially open a major just for you to lead the class. I guarantee you, the benefits we offer will definitely be better than those at Huaqing University. Back when I was still at the research base, I was already a prime target in the eyes of university deans. But at that time, I was only focused on researching breakthroughs in photolithography technology. Those deans didn't dare to harbor any intentions in this regard. Now that the research is finished, based on my achievements, I'd at least be an academician at the Chinese Academy of Sciences. Such a young academician, no matter where he's placed, is a talent that everyone would fight over. Since I've come to Capital University, naturally they can't let me leave again. Let's talk about this later. Just let me rest for a while. Alright, I'm about to register over here. You're quite busy too. I won't disturb you any longer. Okay, you go ahead and register first. Although I'm temporarily away from school, if you have any problems in your daily life, just call me directly. Understood. When you return to Capital City, I will definitely pay you a visit in person. I hung up the phone. This is the registration area for new students. Li Qian looked around and saw Lin Qingxue, who was originally sitting at the reception desk, had suddenly disappeared. She hurriedly went up to the others and asked where Lin Qingxue was. I just brought over an underclassman from her hometown. Everyone laughed and said, Belle Lin said the weather is too hot. Being out here all day is exhausting, so she's treating us to milk tea. She's currently picking up the milk tea. Li Qian turned to me, looking a bit disappointed. So sorry, Junior. The senior had something come up. You won't be able to meet her just yet. I smiled and nodded. It's fine. There's plenty of time ahead. We'll have a chance to meet eventually. Which class are you in? Management Department Class 1 first year. Then it's no problem at all. Kingashu and I are both student advisors for Class 1 of the first year Management Department. Tomorrow during the freshman class meeting, you'll be able to meet her. Go ahead and register first. I nodded slightly and walked to the small registration desk of the School of Management. The two of them cross-checked the info on the admission notice, finding my name on the freshman list. After I finished signing in, I received the dorm keys and student ID card. A senior walked up to me. Junior, you've got all your stuff, so let me lead you to the dormitory first. Go to the dorm and drop off your luggage. Then you can go to the dorm manager's office to get your bedding and some other daily necessities. I nodded slightly, then followed the second-year senior toward the male dormitory of the School of Management. Not long after I left, Lin Qingxue led people back to the School of Management registration desk. Li Qian immediately rushed in front of Lin Qingxue. Qingxue, your timing is really off. Let me tell you, there's a super handsome guy in our department this year. His aura is just incredible. Moreover, he even said he went to the same high school as you. I think this little junior of ours definitely came here for you. Lin Qingxue smiled helplessly. Stop it. I don't have any intention of dating right now. I didn't say you definitely had to date him. Anyway, he's an underclassman from your hometown. You should show him a little concern at least. It just so happens he's also in Class 1. Tomorrow, during the freshman meeting, that's it. His name is Su Xiaowu. What? Do you have any impression of this junior? The moment Li Qian said those words, it made Lin Qingxue's heart suddenly skip a beat. Even her voice gradually started to tremble. What did you say his name was? His name is Su Xiaowu. Is there a problem? Lin Qingxue shook her head in slight disappointment, her voice carrying a hint of urgency. No, it's nothing. Which way did he just go? Li Qian pointed in the direction I had just left. By the time Lin Qingxue looked over, the backs of me and the sophomore senior happened to turn into a small alley. But in just that split second, Lin Qingxue seemed to see the silhouette of that boy. Immediately after, Lin Qingxue quickly shook her head. No, it's impossible. Maybe it's just the same name. During the summer break 3 years ago, he fought with me, saying he would never care about me again. But after calming down for 2 days, he sent me a message again. However, from that day on, he seemed to completely vanish from my life. Classmates and teachers didn't know where he went. Even his family had probably moved away. Even when going to the police to check the records, his ID information had been wiped clean. At that moment, a thought suddenly flashed through Lin Qingshui's mind, and that was that I had died. For the past 3 years, she remained certain of this thought. Therefore, in her eyes, that silhouette absolutely couldn't be me. At most, it was just the same name and a slightly similar back. Finally, Lin Qingshui, slightly trembling, withdrew her steps as she was about to give chase. The sophomore senior took me to the dorm building, then left. I followed the room number marked on the key and pushed open the door to the room for my student life. Very quickly after that, the other two also arrived at the dorm. The four of us arranged our seniority based on our birth dates. Zhou Pengfei is the big bro, Zhang Mingyang is the second bro. I am the third bro and Wang Lei is the youngest. Everyone gathering here from all over is no small feat. I'm a local from capital city. I know this area pretty well. Tonight's on me. Let's all go out for a big feast. How about it? Zhou Pengfei quickly waved his hand. No need to treat us. Let's just go Dutch. But since you know the area better, we'll let you pick the place. Wang Lei and I nodded with a smile. At this moment, the phone in Wang Lei's hand let out a ding. He quickly looked down at his phone, then immediately held it up, facing us. Hey, brothers, have you guys joined the class group yet? The academic advisor just set it up. The announcement in the group says that our class's student advisor this year is Lin Qingshui. Do you guys know who Lin Qingshui is? Zhou Pengfei was the first to react. Wait, for real or what? Lin Qingshui is acting as a student advisor for us. I slightly furrowed my brows. From the documents I asked people to find earlier, I already knew. Lin Qingshu was very famous at Capital University, but I didn't expect her to be this sought after. Zhang Mingyang finished reading the group message and let out a sigh. What a shame. As the #1 belle of Capital University, our senior Lin has always been devoted to the memory of her ex-boyfriend, who's been dead for 3 years. Otherwise, just based on her status as a student advisor, I definitely have to try and shoot my shot. My heart stirred slightly. I secretly asked about the ex-boyfriend from 3 years ago. Lin Qingshu had a boyfriend 3 years ago. Zhang Mingyang kept nodding, his face full of excitement. According to the grapevine, I heard the ex-boyfriend of Lin Qingshui was her desk mate back in 10th grade, but unfortunately passed away later due to an accident. It's such a shame. If she and her ex-boyfriend had just broken up, it would be easier to handle. But the person is already dead. I bet the great school belle Lin, for the rest of her life, will find it hard to ever forget that high school ex-boyfriend. I was stunned for a moment. Desk mate in 10th grade. I remember that Lin Qingshui's desk mate in 10th grade. Wasn't that exactly me? When did I become her ex-boyfriend? I admit, back then I did indeed have some feelings. But didn't I get whisked away for scientific research? Before I even had the chance to take action. What on earth happened during the 3 years I was gone? No way, I definitely have to go and ask to clear this up. So I suddenly stood up from my chair with a whoosh, immediately attracting the gazes of the other 3 in the room. Third, bro, why'd you stand up so fast? Where are you going? I just remembered I still have some personal items to buy, so I'm planning to go to the supermarket near school to do a little shopping. I couldn't exactly say that I was the ex-boyfriend who'd been dead for 3 years, and there's stories about Lin Qingshui. As it happens, the things the school provided aren't enough. I also need to go buy some more stuff. Let's go together, let's go, I need to buy things too. Then let's all go together. 3 years have already passed. One more day won't make a difference. Registration time was originally in the afternoon. By the time all 4 of us reached the mall near the school and bought all the daily necessities for the dorm room, it was already past 7 p.m. when we returned to campus. After putting the stuff away and everyone showering, Zhang Mingyang looked at us brothers. The timing is perfect right now. Let's go take a little stroll around campus, and we can grab some late night snacks while we're at it. No problem, sounds good. Wait for me to dry my hair first. Brothers, don't blame me for not warning you beforehand. At Capital University, if nothing else. The beautiful girls here are way better than at Huaqing. Dress up a bit handsome. Who knows, you might catch the eye of some pretty girl. Zhou Pengfei's eyes lit up. Damn! Why didn't you say so sooner? I have to change into another outfit. Wang Lei's expression shifted slightly, shouting toward Zhang Mingyang, second bro! I'm not very good at doing my hair. Help me style it in a bit? Okay. The corner of my mouth twitched slightly, as a trace of a smile appeared in my eyes. Perhaps this is what youth feels like. I picked up my phone with the screen off, looking at my reflection still as handsome as ever. No big deal. At this time, at the female dormitory, Li Qian walked over to Lin Qingshui with a smile. Qingshu, what should we eat tonight? Let's go to the cafeteria. I saw a new dish at the first floor. The braised pork with bean curd skin is quite good. We just got to school and you're already going to the cafeteria. We've been busy all day today. Let's go take a stroll toward the north gate to see if there's anything tasty, and while we're at it, buy some fruit to bring back. Lin Qingshui immediately shot her a glare. I think you probably just want to go out to check out the new underclassmen who just arrived at our school. Lin Qingshui turned to look at the other 2 roommates. How about you two? Do you want to go out for a stroll together? The 2 roommates nodded in agreement. Lin Qingxue looked up at Li Tian. It seems that after a summer break, our whole room hasn't gone out to wander the streets together in a long time. Then let's go. Quickly finishing their preparations, the 4 people from room 319 promptly left the male dorm, heading toward the snack street at the school's north gate. At almost the same time, Lin Qingxue's group of 4 also set off from the female dormitory, heading to the snack street at the north gate. Zhang Mingyang had both hands in his pockets, looking at the rest of us. Hey brothers, this north gate is the famous snack street of our capital, university. The BBQ stalls on this street are all solid. You guys pick a spot. Zhou Pengfei and Wang Lei looked at each other, then looked at me. Third bro. Which one? I glanced around casually, observing the nearby BBQ stalls, choosing the closest one directly. Let's go with this one. Zhang. Minjiang rushed ahead to lead the way. Brothers, let's go. At the same time, Li Qian linked arms with Lin Qingxue. After looking around once, she immediately turned to Lin Qingxue and the other 2. Sisters, what do you think? Which stall should we eat at? The other 2 roommates both said whatever was fine. Li Qian turned her gaze toward Lin Qingxue. Beside her, Lin Qingxue casually looked up. After her eyes quickly scanned the surroundings, her entire body suddenly trembled. In front of the BBQ stall, I was standing next to Zhou Pengfei's group. At the exact moment of stepping into that BBQ stall, Lin Qingxue felt her brain go blank, her eyes staring fixedly at the shop that I had just entered, holding her breath for a long time, unable to snap out of it. It's so similar, really too similar. Unlike the silhouette from this morning, it seemed she had truly seen a boy with an appearance almost identical to Su Xiaowu. In that moment, Lin Qingxue felt like she was about to suffocate. Then Li Tian shook Lin Qingxue's wrist a few times. Qingxue, why are you dazing out? Only then did Lin Qingxue regain her senses. Looking at Li Tian's group, let's have BBQ. Eating BBQ and drinking soft drinks in the summer is the best. Li Qian's group naturally had no objections. Then Lin Qingxue led Li Tian's group slowly toward the BBQ stall I had just entered. With every step she took, her heart rate quickened a bit more. Could there really be 2 identical people in this world? Or rather, at that very moment, Lin Qingxue's soul, which had been cold for 3 years, gradually began to flutter again in a strange way. Whether it was a lucky psychological hope or a deluded fantasy, she had to go and see for herself. The boy who looked exactly like the Su Xiaowu in her memories. On the other side, Zhang Mingyang's group were the first to arrive at the shop. They found a private room and sat down. Casually took the menu, scanned it a few times, then looked at them. I'm heading to the restroom for a bit. You guys just look at the dishes and order. On another side, Lin Qingxue and Li Tian's group had also arrived at the shop. First, they found a corner to sit down. Lin Qingxue asked the owner for the menu, then looked at her friends. You guys go ahead and order. I think I saw an acquaintance. I'm going to look for them for a second. What acquaintance? It's not some handsome guy, is it? Go, you guys just order first. Then she stood up right there, her eyes scanning the BBQ shop once over, discovering that everywhere were just strange faces. Her expression immediately turned to disappointment. However, after that, she took a deep breath and one by one pushed open the private room doors in the BBQ shop. Realizing that familiar face still wasn't there, she stepped out of the private room in disappointment again. Finally, Lin Qingxue pushed open the door to the room of Zhang Mingyang's group. Seeing Lin Qingxue walk in, the 3 of them, including Zhang Mingyang, widened their eyes. Greetings, Senior Lin. Lin Qingxue gave them an embarrassed smile, then looked at the 4 sets of bowls and chopsticks on the table with a bit of curiosity. Is there one more person with you guys? Our third bro went to the restroom. Lin Qingxue nodded, looking at them with a slightly flustered look. I'm so sorry. Just now, I thought I saw an acquaintance. So I entered the wrong room. Then she quickly left the private room. As it turned out, the moment she turned around, she saw the back of a boy wearing a short-sleeved white t-shirt. In that moment, Lin Qingxue's heart rate immediately spiked. In an instant, she took a deep breath, then slowly walked up behind that boy and quickly tapped him on the shoulder. The boy in front quickly turned around. After seeing that it was Lin Qingxue, his eyes immediately lit up. Lin, are you looking for me for something? Lin Qingxue's expression immediately froze in embarrassment. I'm so sorry, classmate. I mistook you for someone else. Sorry, I'm truly sorry. Lin Qingxue apologized repeatedly. Finally, she returned to Li Tian's group looking dejected. What happened? You went for a walk and came back looking like you lost your soul. It's nothing. This is the first time our whole room has gone out for BBQ this semester. I'll drink a toast first to show my sincerity. After pouring herself a full glass of her drink, Lin Qingxue tilted her head back and downed every single drop in the glass. On the other side, I leisurely walked out of the restroom without even glancing toward the main hall and pushed the door directly to enter the private room. On the table inside the room, the chilled drinks had already been poured. Seeing me enter, Zhou Pengfei, Wang Lei, and Zhang Mingyang all 3 immediately laughed. Third bro. What kind of bathroom break was that? It took forever. Everyone's been waiting for you. Come here, come on. Cheers to the 4 of us from all over. It's fate that brought us together here. I didn't stand on ceremony. After sitting down, I immediately picked up the drink in front of me. Over half an hour later, the drinks had gone 3 rounds and the food was more than half gone. Yang Mingyang raised his glass and smiled at the brothers. Senior Lin Qingshui is also eating at this stall. What do you guys think? Should we all go out and offer her a toast? After all, she is our student. Advisor for the upcoming military training. Wait, did Lin Qingshui come by here just now? You were in the restroom earlier. Senior Lin probably went to the wrong room, so she dropped into our private room for a bit. When I went to the restroom just now, I saw her and her roommates still drinking out there. Right. I saw it too. I have to admit, Senior Lin really lives up to the title of Capital University's #1 belle. Even the way she drinks looks incredibly impressive. Hearing this, my brows furrowed slightly. Drinking, I remembered that the old Lin Qingshui originally was someone who never touched these kinds of drinks. With the sound of a chair sliding back, I instantly stood up from my seat. Zhou Pengfei's group immediately looked toward me. Third bro, where are you going? I'm going out for a bit. You guys keep drinking. After saying that, I pushed open the private room door and walked out toward the main hall, scanning the area with my eyes. I very quickly found the person who was continuously drinking. It was Lin Qingshui. At the table, Li Tian and the other 2 roommates were looking at Lin Qingshui with worry. Qingshu, stop drinking. Look, you've already had too much. Lin Qingshu's eyes had already begun to blur. The hand holding the glass was also trembling slightly. With a flushed face, she said, "It's okay. I'll just finish this last glass. Then I won't drink anymore." Right at that moment, before her eyes, a face suddenly appeared that she had longed for day and night. Though the image looked a bit blurry, Lin Qingshui was certain it was me. I snatched the glass from her, the drink she was holding in her hand, and tilted it back, draining it all into my mouth. Stop drinking. Li Tian looked at me in shock. Junior, is that you? Tell me, Senior, how much soda has she had? Li Tian pointed at the 7 or 8 soda bottles on the ground. All of this was finished by our school belle Lin herself. She drank way too much. Lin Qingshui immediately looked up. From her slightly reddened eyes, 2 streaks of tears instantly rolled down. I'm not drunk. Xiao Wu, it's you, right? Xiao Wu, you finally showed up. After that, Lin Qingshui tightly hugged me as I stood beside her. I promise you, I will never argue with you again. Don't suddenly disappear anymore, okay? My gaze was filled with complexity. As I reached out to gently comfort Lin Qingshu's trembling shoulders, I looked over at Li Tian. Senior, where is your dormitory? Let me help you take her back to the dorm. Li Tian was dazed for a moment. Then she became excited. Okay. It just so happens we can't drag her back ourselves. I'll trouble you then, Junior. It's no trouble at all. Then I reached out and grabbed Lin Qingshui's waist in a princess carry, quickly lifting her from the chair into my arms. Then with steady steps, I slowly left the BBQ stall. Inside the private room, Zhou Pengfei's group poked their heads out to peek. Seeing me carry Lin Qingshui straight away, they were instantly frozen in place. It was too sudden. They were just calculating whether to go out and offer Lin Qingshui a drink. But for me, it was game over. I just carried her off. What's going on? That's Lin Qingshui. The other 2 roommates of Lin Qingshui were also completely bewildered. Throughout a whole year of university, the guys pursuing Lin Qingshui included rich heirs with luxury cars, and even startup bosses from outside the school, but without exception, they were all rejected by Lin Qingshui. At school, she doesn't even show interest in any male students at all. How come as soon as this junior arrived, she threw herself straight at him like that? Li Qian was also a bit surprised by the current situation and said, there's definitely something going on between these 2. However, according to what she knew, Lin Qingshui had only ever been involved with one single guy, and that was her ex-boyfriend who died 3 years ago. Could it be Xiao Wu thinking of this? Li Qian couldn't help but shiver. Could this be a resurrection? But at this moment, she didn't have the peace of mind to think too much, quickly running to the BBQ shop's cashier. After finishing the payment, she led the 2 roommates and followed me outside. Outside the BBQ shop, many Capital University students were bustling back and forth. Right when I carried Lin Qingshui out of the BBQ shop, it immediately attracted the gazes of quite a few students. Sisters, look, that Princess Carrie over there. Is this filming an idol drama? This guy is so handsome, especially those long legs. I really want to be the girl in his arms. Countless female students covered their mouths and screamed. However, there were also many sharp-eyed male students who clearly saw Lin Qingshui being carried in my arms and immediately cried out in shock. Good heavens, that guy is carrying... Isn't that the sophomore Lin Qingshui? Let go of my goddess and let me do it. Lin Qingshui dizzily opened her eyes, staring fixedly at me right in front of her. Her 2 hands immediately wrapped around my neck. Her whole body was like a squirrel hugging a tree, hanging suspended on me, her breath fragrant as orchids lightly murmured. Xiao Wu, is it really you? Will you finally come back? Promise me you won't leave again. Okay. I truly guarantee I'll never argue with you again. I helplessly looked down at Lin Qingshui in my arms. A look of pampering momentarily appeared in my eyes. I promise. Can you promise never to leave me again? Lin Qingshui, hearing these words of mine, immediately broke into a smile. Just like a child acting spoiled, she called out to him. Then you've promised, okay? You can never leave again in the future. From now on, whoever disappears without a word, that person is a puppy. I promise whoever disappears again is a puppy. Only then did Lin Qingshui finally settle down, obediently snuggling into my chest, gradually falling into a deep sleep. I turned to look at Li Tian walking beside me. Does she often act like this after drinking soda? Lee Qian shook her head repeatedly. No, not at all. Even though our dorm occasionally hangs out to have a few drinks and stuff, Kingshu is always very moderate with her drinking. She has never actually gotten drunk. Then again, it's also the first time we've seen Kingshu in such a drunken state. Who knew that someone normally so high and mighty and cold, after getting drunk, would turn into such a child? The two girls walking beside also kept nodding. I nodded slightly and looked at Li Tian's phone she was holding in her hand. The three of them were a bit curious. Are you guys filming? Li Qian's expression froze. She gave me an embarrassed smile. She's capturing some beautiful moments. We are simply recording what she looks like when she's wasted. Wait until she wakes up tomorrow. We'll send it to her to watch. It'll be more convenient to help her remember what happened. If you're filming tonight, go ahead. Just remember to make me look handsome, that's all. However, after walking just 2 steps, Li Qian looked at me curiously once more. Junior, you aren't the one she was talking about. The ex-boyfriend who's been dead for 3 years, right? I thought for a few seconds. If nothing unexpected happened, then it's probably me. The three of them were immediately stunned. Wait, but she even said you... I interrupted her, looking at Lin Qingshui in my arms. You want to say that I've been dead for 3 years, don't you? Actually, I really want to know too, why she said I've been dead for 3 years. Under Li Tian's guidance, I carried Lin Qingshui to the female dormitory door, only then carefully putting her down from my arms. I looked at Li Tian and the seniors. While she's in the dorm tonight, I'll have to ask you guys to look after her a bit. No problem. After that, they all helped support Lin Qingshui together, walking step by step into the female dormitory, waiting until their figures vanished from sight. I finally left the female dorm entrance. By the time I got back to the BBQ stall, the group with Zhou Pengfei was still sitting obediently in the room, seeing me push the door and walk in. The three of them hurriedly stood up. One pulled out a chair for me, one cleared a clean spot on the table. One handed me some hot BBQ skewers and a bottle of water, then pressed me down into the seat. Only then did the three of them sit in a row, returning to their positions with the look of an interrogation panel. Looking at me with faces full of gossip, third bro talked to us. What's the situation on your first day at uni? You've already low-key bagged the most beautiful belle of our capital university? I looked at them helplessly. Bagged? What are you talking about? She and I have known each other since high school. Just now I heard you guys say she was outside. So I went over to say hello. I didn't expect her to drink so much. So I just helped her back to the dorm. Zhou Pengfei rolled his eyes at me. Does your conscience not hurt when you say that? Third bro, don't treat us like we're blind. Normal friends. Don't take each other back to the dorm in a princess carry. Are her roommates just there for decoration? Furthermore, I saw it clearly. Belle Lin was the one who proactively dove into your arms. Wang Lei's eyes lit up. Third bro. Could it be that you're that ex-boyfriend who's been dead for 3 years according to Belle Lin? 3 years ago, you two broke up. Then you hurt her deeply. Love turned to hate. So she went around telling everyone you were dead. Inside the Capital University dorm, Zhou Pengfei and Wang Lei, along with Zhang Mingyang, surrounded Xiaowu. The atmosphere was incredibly intense. Third bro, I get it now. You're pretty cold-blooded, huh? Did you get bored of her and dump our school Belle Lin? Is that why she said you were dead? And if that's really the case, then during the next half month of military training, since Belle Lin is our student advisor, she might just make life hell for us. Wang Lei patted my shoulder, his face full of worry. You better settle this matter. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Stop guessing blindly. I never did anything to wrong her. Furthermore, the two of us were never actually in a relationship. From what I know, back in high school, she never dated anyone at all. Then I've got it. So that whole story about the ex-boyfriend dying 3 years ago was just made up by Belle Lin herself, using a non-existent boyfriend as a shield. Looks like I still have a chance then. Zhou Pengfei rolled his eyes at Zhang Mingyang with a look of contempt. Give it a rest, man. Stop sitting there having delusions of grandeur. I swear by my sharp sixth sense that third bro and our Belle Lin definitely have some secret history no one knows about. Suddenly, all three of them, Zhou Pengfei's group, simultaneously fixed their gazes on Xiaowu. Zhou Pengfei clasped his hands looking expectant. Big bro, give us the tea. I let out a helpless sigh. Looking at the three of them with a calm gaze and a sincere tone, we were never together. And there was no dumping involved. They were just normal classmates. Okay, so you don't have any motives at all. I stayed silent for a moment. I do. At the same time, at a large aero engine scientific research base in Mabei, the atmosphere inside the meeting room was incredibly tense. A middle-aged man, not yet 70 years old, but with hair already turned completely white, wearing a white lab coat, looked at the sets of top-secret design drawings before him, feeling like his head was about to explode. This person was Professor Liu, who had called me earlier, the Vice Dean of the School of Electronic Information at Capital University. Ye Jianggo stood on the meeting room podium, his gaze stern, looking at the crowd of researchers below, his tone serious. Ladies and gentlemen, regarding the failure of this test flight, does anyone have any thoughts? Have we identified the problem yet? The inspection results are already out. There are several areas where issues occurred. First is still the issue with the turbine blades. The precision of the turbine blades is still off by a small margin. After that, everyone listened in silence until the report concluded. Ye Jiangguo let out a cold snort and angrily slammed the report on the table. Setting aside other aspects for now, the precision testing for the turbine blades has been done how many times now? and it still doesn't meet the standards. Those material supply corporations, what exactly are they thinking? Do they want us to change the design, drawings, or what? Compared to other scientific research bases, running projects alongside them, some have already manufactured engines for next-generation transport aircraft, as well as manufacturing various types of drones and missiles. It has taken a full decade, but during the test flight, it produced a result like this. Lu Yong looked up at Chief Engineer Ye, his voice firm. Chief Engineer Ye, I know someone who might be able to help us solve this problem. The person he's referring to is me. Regarding the lithography machine research, at that time the research base also faced many issues, but once those problems reached my hands, they were all quickly and smoothly resolved. In a certain sense, having participated in research and design at the lithography technology base, my status in their hearts had practically become a legend. Furthermore, it's not like he hasn't discussed fighter jet engine design with me before. In this field, I believe I have plenty of experience. He believed that if I came, this problem could definitely be solved. Ye Jiangguo immediately looked toward Lu Yong, his gaze carrying a hint of expectation. Who did you say can come solve this problem? Lu Yong's voice was solemn. Su Xiaowu. After those words, everyone in the entire meeting room began to buzz with excitement. Who is Su Xiaowu? What field is this expert in? How come I've never heard this name in our country before? Is there even an aviation expert named Su Xiaowu? Ye Jiangguo is the vice president of the Chinese Academy of Sciences. Even he isn't certain he can solve this problem. Can this person named Su Xiaowu really help us solve it? Whether it was the research project they were on or the research project I was in charge of, both were top secret level. Not to mention currently my identity within the country is absolutely top secret. Therefore, basically everyone present here did not know my name. Ye Jiangguo's expression remained unchanged. As he looked at Lu Yong, this Xiaowu you're talking about, is he the chief designer of the project you previously participated in as the vice president of the Chinese Academy of Sciences? His information was still quite sharp. Besides, back then, in order to nominate me as a senior academician of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, the seniors in the academy even gathered together, and regarding my achievements, he has a certain level of understanding. It is indeed him. So can you invite him here, according to what I know? That kid, isn't he currently neglecting his career and running off to Capital University to study? That's right, exactly neglecting his career. My talent for scientific research, this old man has a certain understanding of it too. Within 3 years, being able to research from scratch 1 nanometer lithography technology in one go, elevating Huaxia's chips to the peak of the world. With this kind of research talent, he only wishes he could keep this kid at the research base 24 hours a day. I can't guarantee anything regarding the research, but we have to at least give it a shot, right? Then you should try it out. It's for the best. I also really want to meet that interesting kid. We are all getting old. The future of Huaxia's scientific research ultimately must be handed over to the youth. Early the next morning at the Capital University dorm, I was packing my clothes in the dorm while talking to Lu Yong on the other end of the line. No problem, no problem. I'll buy a ticket for the earliest flight over there in a bit. I should arrive by tonight. After that, Su Xiaowu hung up the phone. Zhou Pengfei had just woken up, half asleep and scratching his head. He looked up at Su Xiaowu packing his luggage. He was a bit confused. Third bro, why are you packing your things so early in the morning? So, my family has some business. I need to head back for a trip. Just now, I received a call from Lu Yong wanting to invite me as a consultant for the research and design of the 7th generation aviation combat engine. This matter originally didn't require my involvement, but I also clearly understand that once I've dedicated myself to scientific research, I no longer belong only to myself. Just like a few months ago, when I was at the scientific research base, writing down those lines, I vowed to actively immerse myself in scientific research, using the power of knowledge and technology to serve the nation, and for that, I will strive my entire life. There are things that someone must always do. Zhou Pengfei was instantly wide awake. His eyes widened as he asked back, "What, you're not planning to join military training?" I already asked the school for permission. Zhou Pengfei nodded, half understanding, then followed up with another question. Permission means you don't have to join military training at all. How long do you plan to go? If it's fast, 1 week. If it's slow, I'll probably be back by the time you finish military training, because I'm only going there to consult a bit and don't need to join the main planning research. 2 weeks at most should be enough. Gosh, this kid isn't just trying to dodge military training, is he? Seeing you leave so suddenly like this, have you told the great school bell Lin Qingyushui yet? My movements to pack my clothes suddenly froze. In another scene at the female dormitory, the clear morning sunlight shone through the window onto the room floor. Lin Qingshu had a bit of a headache. She rubbed her throbbing forehead, casually stretching her arms, asking Li Tian, who had already woken up, "Little Tian Tian, what time is it now?" 7 o'clock, still plenty early. Lin Qingshui quickly climbed down from her bed, rubbing her eyes while muttering, "Not sleeping anymore. Did I get too drunk last night?" I somehow vaguely remember that it felt like I was hugging someone. Li Qian burst out laughing and teased, "Oh my, I thought you had forgotten everything." Li Qian took out her phone, opening the video clip she recorded last night. "Well, do you need this big sister here to help you reminisce? Watch this video. I'm honestly impressed by you." Li Qian held the phone in front of Lin Qingshui. "See for yourself. The person who carried you away? Do you remember him? Lin Qingxue quickly snatched the phone. After seeing the image on the screen, her entire body instantly froze. The phone was playing the scene of me carrying her back to school. It even recorded my joke. Remember to make me look handsome in that moment? All the memories kept flooding back. Drop by drop, tears continuously rolled down Lin Qingshue's eyes, as if afraid that I would disappear. After finishing the video, Lin Qingxue looked at Li Qian with wide eyes, hurriedly asking little Qian, "How do you know Xiao Wu? Where is he?" "He's a freshman in our management department. Last night after you got wasted, he showed up. Then you lunged into his arms. After that, he carried you back here." Qingxue, could he really be that? Boyfriend who died 3 years ago, you always talk about. I have to find him. Lin Qingxue completely failed to answer the question from Li Tian. After quickly changing her clothes, Qingxue, could he really be that? Boyfriend who died 3 years ago, you always talk about. I have to find him. Lin Qingxue completely failed to answer Li Tian's question. She quickly changed her clothes and rushed out of the dormitory. Li Tian shouted after her, "Hey, you're in such a rush. Do you even know where his dorm is?" In front of the male dorm, people were coming and going. There weren't too many people. I was walking leisurely on the road in front of the dorm, preparing to go to the school cafeteria for breakfast. Suddenly, Lin Qingshue's trembling voice rang in my ears. "Xiao Wu, Xiao Wu." I suddenly looked up. The tears on Lin Qingshue's face had been wiped dry long ago. She stopped in front of me, just staring at me fixedly. 3 years of time have passed. My appearance basically hasn't undergone any major changes. Though my height seems to have increased quite a bit, my gaze has also shed its former innocence, adding a touch of maturity and calmness. The vibe, however, remains the same. Before, Lin Qingxue always felt I was mature for my age, exactly like a long-time scholar. That serious way of speaking really looked quite interesting. Now it's still that same scholarly vibe. Even wearing the simplest, most rustic clothes, I still exude a gentle and elegant aura, even though she had seen me once while watching the video, but now facing me directly. At this very moment, Lin Qingxue felt her heart skip a beat. The two of them fell into a dead silence. Neither was the one to speak first. Right now within her was mostly curiosity, doubt, along with a sense of resentment, sometimes hating herself. Why did she leave back then without a single goodbye, even though the two were never officially together? But between friends, is there really no need to say goodbye? Why I was also stunned in place, staring fixedly at Lin Qingxue for a long while. She was still the same as 3 years ago. Her appearance hadn't changed much, still as beautiful as ever. Actually, since leaving the research base, I had thought of all sorts of opening lines for meeting Lin Qingxue again. 3 years have passed. Do you have a boyfriend? Have you been living well these years? Congratulations, you finally got into Capital University? But right now, I really don't know how to face Lin Qingxue. How 3 years ago, I received an inheritance from a super civilization, the Eternal Knowledge Vault. Even with the level of knowledge I currently access, I temporarily still cannot fully grasp the concept of the Eternal Knowledge Vault, but it truly exists deep within my brain. It's thanks to researching the contents within that Eternal Knowledge Vault that I finally developed the technology, 1 nanometer lithography machine. And this is just a mediocre technology in the Eternal Knowledge Vault. It was also because of this 1 nanometer precision lithography machine tech that I had the mindset of giving it a shot and handed this tech over to the state, leading to a 3-year departure without a word. The two looked at each other for dozens of seconds. In just those few short dozens of seconds, every bit of memory from high school when they were together once again surfaced in both of their minds. The times being called to the board to solve problems, the teasing cheers of classmates below, the moments of cheering for each other, running the 1,500-meter relay at the sports festival, the tiger meat snacks eaten secretly during class, and even under the sunset, the brilliant red sky of the late afternoon. In the youth of both, the mark of the other was deeply engraved. It's just a pity Lin Qingxue never held my hand, smudged after playing basketball, and I never helped Lin Qingxue smooth out her messy hair blowing in the wind. I stood rooted to the spot, hesitating for a long while before looking up to ask, "I heard that I'm dead." Lin Qingshue's eyes suddenly reddened in an instant. It seemed like 10,000 words were choked up in her throat. She gritted her teeth. "That's right. Su Xiao Wu, aren't you supposed to be dead? Why did you show up after 3 whole years?" Lin Qingxue truly always thought I was dead. Yet here I am, appearing right before her eyes. My voice suddenly caught. I really wanted to explain about what happened over the past 3 years, why I left, and what I've been doing. But with my current status, it's completely inconvenient to disclose. Countless explanations in my heart were all forced back down by me. The things I've done over the past 3 years, the specific details, even to the closest people, must absolutely remain unknown. Even my own contributions could only likely be made public after I pass away, for me to finally stand fully in the light. In the end, I only whispered one sentence. "In any case, long time no see." Lin Qingshue's face turned cold. "I didn't want to see you at all. I only came here to confirm whether you were dead or not. Now that I know you're alive, I'll be going now." After saying that, Lin Qingxue turned to leave. I called out to her, "Lin Qingxue." Lin Qingxue paused, her voice cold. "What is it?" "I just want to tell you that about our promise back then. I didn't break it." Lin Qingxue sneered, stifling her anger as she looked at me. "That promise? Su Xiaowu, What exactly is the relationship between us? Who do you think you are, leaving whenever you want and showing up whenever you feel like it? It's been 3 years. Do you know how many messages I sent? You didn't reply to a single one. No reason given, just evaporated from the face of the earth. Straight up disappeared. Do you think acting like some mysterious drifter is something to be proud of? Do you think that by doing this, you can make me remember you for the rest of my life? Didn't you already vanish? You were gone. So why did you have to show up again? Lin Qingshu almost screamed the last sentence, as if wanting to pour out all the sorrow, grievance, and resentment of the past 3 years. At first, Lin Qingshui really held on to hope, thinking maybe I was just playing a prank on her, suddenly vanishing for an entire summer break. Back then, she thought that once she found me, she would definitely give me a piece of her mind. But after that, she gave up. 3 long years without a single update. She gradually felt she was about to forget the stories that once happened between me and her 3 years ago. But now I suddenly appeared. I was scolded into silence. What could I even say? This body is already promised to the country. It's hard to keep a promise to a beauty. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have left without saying goodbye. I left too hastily back then and didn't know how to face you, to tell you about my departure. The scientific research mission I joined was a national secret. Even my parents only knew. I was specially recruited by the state into a special place to study. I have no regrets about serving the country. But toward Lin Qingshui, my heart is full of shame. Lin Qingshui interrupted me. No need. You don't need to apologize to me. We don't have any kind of relationship anyway. If you want to go, then go. If you want to stay, stay. What you want to do has nothing to do with me. I looked at Lin Qingshui dotingly and then told her I had to go, that there was an emergency at home I had to return for. But at the latest, after military training ends, I will be back. Hearing this, Lin Qingshui's expression tensed up. She subconsciously asked, did something happen? Then Lin Qingshui put on a cold face again. If you want to go, then go. I'm nothing to you. You don't need to explain anything to me. Even though I already cleared it with the school, after all, you are the student advisor for our class. For a freshman to be absent from military training, giving the advisor a heads up. Isn't that exactly what I should do? Furthermore, in my eyes, you aren't just merely my student advisor. Lin Qingshui gave a soft huff, then pretended to be calm again. I have no idea what you're talking about. Do you have anything else? If not, then I'm leaving first. This time, it probably doesn't count as silently, leaving without a goodbye, right? I don't want to be a puppy anymore. Lin Qingshui immediately remembered the words she said while drunk last night. Blushing, she glared at me. Can't be bothered with you. If there's stuff at home, then go quickly. So annoying. After saying that, Lin Qingshui quickly turned and walked away. I stood rooted to the spot, watching Lin Qingshui's retreating figure, a slight smile gradually appearing on my lips. Back at the dorm, Lin Qingshui thought for a long time, suddenly feeling frustrated and blaming herself. She comforted herself in her heart. Lin Qingshui, can you not be so spineless? Don't just soften up the moment you see him, okay? He silently disappeared for 3 whole years. Did he ever care about my feelings? And yet I'm still worried about what's happening at his house? Then Lin Qingshui took a few deep breaths. After calming her mood, she quickly made up her mind. The events of these 3 years, she absolutely could not just let them slide. However, I knew nothing about all of this, because at this moment, I had entered the elevator to go to the lounge before boarding. Right then, someone shouted at the people inside the elevator. Everyone inside, get out. Hurry up and get out first. I looked up outside the elevator at the chaotic crowd out there. Turns out it was a male celebrity along with quite a few fans standing there taking pictures. I couldn't help but sneer. Since there's a lot of you, can't you wait for the next turn? Is this airport your personal runway? The male celebrity's assistant's face immediately became extremely ugly. What do you mean? Do you have any idea how packed our Lele's schedule is? Don't you know? Our flight is about to depart. Move out of the way fast. My expression remained unchanged. If the flight is leaving soon, what's that got to do with us? Just ask the people standing in this elevator if any of them don't have their own business. Does being a celebrity give you special privileges? Hearing that, the surrounding obsessed fans, this male celebrity's fans couldn't take it anymore and shouted loudly. Can they be as busy as our Lele? Lele is a top-tier star in this country. His daily schedule is packed to the brim. Is it so hard to let our Lele go first? What's wrong with you? Sharing an elevator with Lele is your honor. Move out of the way already. What are you just standing there for? If this makes Lele late for his flight, can you even handle the responsibility? At this point, the male celebrity's expression turned a bit sour. Being famous for the past 2.5 years had made him accustomed to being pampered. Forget about giving up an elevator. Even when filming, if he showed up 2.5 hours late, the entire crew would still have to wait for him. The male celebrity snorted coldly in his heart. But as a professional star, he was still very cautious in some aspects. If he did anything too extreme, it would easily create a negative public image. The next second, a smile appeared on his face. After scolding his assistant and bodyguards, he looked at me in the elevator and smiled. It's okay. Although I'm in a big hurry, let these friends go first. After all, everyone is busy. The corner of my mouth twitched, speechless, just counting the time spent on this delay. The elevator could have already gone up and down once, However, the brainless fan said emotionally, Lee is so well bred, and even scolded me. I helplessly shook my head, not even bothering to care about that male celebrity, and directly pressed the button to close the elevator doors. However, I didn't know that just because I didn't give up the elevator for him, this male celebrity wanted to incite public opinion from his fans to condemn me. Not long after I left, the male celebrity looked at the fans and smiled, while a sinister glint flashed in his eyes. All right. Everyone stop making a scene. This was just a minor accident. Please don't post this online. We have to go now. Everyone should head home. The assistant also understood the signal, immediately smiled and said to everyone disperse for now. Please remember, absolutely do not let this spread online. Absolutely don't, okay? Of course, despite saying that, in his heart, he had already started calculating if this matter caused a stir online, how he should use this incident to run a marketing campaign. Those fans originally hadn't thought in this direction, but as soon as they heard them mention it, inside the various fan groups of this male star, it immediately exploded like a pan of hot oil. Lele was their entire world. Bullying their oppa was even more excessive than killing their own parents. Over 10 minutes later, Lily's toxic fans began to post onto the internet all sorts of videos, maliciously edited clips and slogans to condemn me, even using big data to search for my personal information. Everything started pouring out at once. Even a post titled, "Come out here and apologize to Lila. Our idol deserves respect," was pushed by the obsessed fans, straight to the top of the trending hashtags. Consequently, some information about me was also posted online by some people, although most of the vital information had been CC level encrypted, and unless one has extremely high authority, basically no one can find it. But even so, my photos were still leaked online, especially in the personal experience section. They even discovered that for the past 3 years, not a single piece of information regarding the experiences of Su Xiaowu could be found. Once this was exposed, countless toxic fans of Lele instantly became keyboard warriors, typing away furiously. Is getting into Capital University so easy these days? How can this kind of person get into Capital University? We totally can't track his info. Even his college entrance exam results are untraceable. Could he have ever joined a top-tier international competition? How did someone like this get into Capital Uni? I suggest that the relevant departments must investigate this thoroughly. Naturally, there were some sensible fans, but under the manipulation of the toxic fans, online public opinion was biased toward Lele from the very start, causing me to suddenly become a street rat that everyone wanted to hit. Meanwhile, in the Capital University girls' dorm, Yixian was casually scrolling through videos when she saw the trending topic that was currently skyrocketing and immediately called Lin Qingshui over. Qingshui. Look, isn't this your little underclassman? There are so many people flaming him online right now. Lin Qingshui was stunned for a moment, quickly grabbed Li Tian's phone to scroll through, and immediately felt speechless. Are these fans all just idiots? Then she took out her own phone, clicked straight into the hashtag, and started blasting back. Is a celebrity superior to everyone else? It's just not giving up an elevator. Are you in a rush to be reincarnated or in a rush to hand over your life? Seeing Lin Qingshui's indignant look, Li Qian couldn't help but burst out laughing. King Isua, who was the one saying earlier that you'd have nothing to do with Xiao Wu anymore. Looking at you like this, I'm afraid those old feelings are still lingering. Business is business. If anyone else was treated like this, I'd do the same. But she quickly realized that her comment was immediately drowned out by those malicious ones. Kingshu, things are looking bad. Those toxic fans of Lele, it looks like they won't let your underclassman off. He's in big trouble this time. But right at that moment, inside a certain special office, the red warning light suddenly flashed on. A staff member urgently reported, a large number of users are exposing information. The identity of one of our country's CC-level secret members is at risk of leaking online. Secret protocols are ready to intercept, requesting specific instructions from superiors. After Director Liu Changqing of the Security Bureau saw it, he immediately flew into a rage. How on earth are you guys working? Immediately have someone take down all info regarding Su Xiaowu from the internet. Right now, also immediately send people to investigate this, to see if any foreign intelligence organizations are fanning the flames behind the scenes. I'm giving you exactly 10 minutes. If he suffers any harm because of this, all of you better be ready to face the consequences. Huaxia can do without my position as director of the Security Bureau, but the Huaxia scientific research community absolutely cannot lose him. He is a genius research scholar in our country. My personal profile was linked to the Security Bureau long ago, no matter who it is, or any organization trying to look up my records. It will immediately trigger a danger alert. It's just that he never expected in a million years that this time it wasn't just a lone individual searching for my identity, but countless ignorant netizens spreading my news all over social media. Liu Changqing watched the airport elevator surveillance footage, then gritted his teeth and muttered curses. These stars nowadays are getting out of hand. It's one thing to act like a diva, but they don't even know who they're dealing with. Who do you think you are pulling that crap on him? Forcing someone who's about to become the youngest academician to give up an elevator for you, are you worthy? However, as soon as he finished speaking, the phone immediately rang. The moment he saw the caller's name, his heart suddenly skipped a beat. The overprotective one is here. The caller was the president of the CAS, Wang Weimin. Don't be fooled by their age. When it comes to protecting their own, every single one of them is a top-tier pro. Liu Changqing took a deep breath, then nervously picked up the phone. Wang Weimin directly blasted him over the line. Liu Changqing, that director of security title of yours? Is that director of security title of yours just for show? A huge mess like this is blowing up online right now. Don't tell me your security bureau isn't at fault. I'm telling you, if Su Xiaowu's identity is compromised, this old man won't care about playing nice anymore. Elder Wang, please calm down. Please calm down. On my end, I've already arranged people to handle it in 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, every single piece of news online will be taken down. And what about that star? I will immediately schedule a meeting with the person in charge of the Cultural Development Department. Rest assured, I will definitely give you, as well as all the scholars at the Academy of Sciences, a satisfactory explanation. Fine, I'll be waiting for your news. Wang Weimin quickly hung up the phone. Liu Changqing took a deep breath, sitting in his office with his teeth gnashing. Next, he picked up the desk phone to notify the person in charge of the Cultural Development Department, giving him exactly half an hour to show up at my office. Otherwise, I'll personally pay a visit to their Cultural Development Bureau. At the same time, at the airport lounge, I received a call from Wang Weimin. Xiaowu, don't worry about this matter anymore. Just leave it to this old man to handle. Wait for your flight with peace of mind. Don't let these outside things distract your mind. Within one day, I will definitely give you a satisfactory answer. Originally, I didn't care about that at all, but the next second, several flashily dressed girls walked up to me. With mysterious looks, they asked, "You're Su Xiaowu. You're quite handsome. Weren't you in such a big hurry? Why are you still sitting in the lounge waiting? Just sitting here doing nothing? You just saw how famous our Lele is, so you wanted to clout chase our Lila, right? Don't you want to be famous? Then let us help you become the most famous tonight." As soon as she finished, one of the girls splashed a bottle of water all over me. I didn't have time to react and got soaked from head to toe. The security in the lounge also saw this scene and quickly rushed toward me while shouting, "Hey, what are you girls doing?" The girls glanced at each other and immediately ran away as fast as they could. I had just finished wiping the water off with a tissue when the phone screen next to me suddenly lit up. Lin Qingshe, who was worried in the dorm, silently sent a message, "Are you okay?" My bad mood instantly turned into a happy one. But just as I was about to reply to the tsundere, Lin Qingshe, the bro back at the dorm, called me. After picking up, I immediately flew into a rage. Turns out Lin Qingshe and her roommates were all online trying to defend me. As a result, someone leaked the fact that we were desk mates back in high school, and someone even posted her photos online. Now she is being severely attacked by Laylee's fans. From the start, I had maintained a tolerant attitude and didn't want to stoop to the level of those toxic fans, but now I can't hold back anymore. I took a deep breath, looking down at the message Lin Qingshui sent, suddenly feeling an immense pang of heartache. She was being flamed like that online, yet she was still worried about me. She's such a fool. So after thinking for a few seconds, I called her back. The call was quickly connected. "Xiao Wu, how are things at the airport? Are you okay? I heard Lily's fans are totally insane. They didn't do anything to you, did they?" "I'm fine, really, it's fine. Don't worry about this for now. Just let me handle it, okay? Just stay in the dorm for the time being, and stay off the internet. Find a fun movie to watch. By the time it's over, I'll have everything settled." Lin Qingshui's tone was a bit agitated. In the end, her voice carried a slight sob. "How are you going to settle it? There are so many people online right now attacking, turning the world upside down. How can you solve it on your own?" She regretted it. If she hadn't been sulking this morning and had gone to see me off for a bit, then perhaps something like this wouldn't have happened. To change the subject, I smiled and said, "Senior Lin, since you're so worried about me, does that mean you've already forgiven me?" "No way, Xiao Wu. I'm telling you, business is business. I helped you online only because they were acting way too out of line. That's all. Don't you dare overthink it. Just give up on that idea. I absolutely won't forgive you." After saying that, she added a sentence in her heart, "At least I can't forgive him." That easily, truly spineless. Even though we haven't been in touch for 3 years. Yet the moment I appeared, her heart immediately surrendered. No matter how many cold words were said, or how much anger was held inside, as long as she sees Xiao Wu once, all the troubles in her heart instantly vanish like smoke and clouds. From the first glance of seeing Lin Qingshui again, I knew she was still the same person as back then, just a little too tsundere. The only lucky thing is that we still haven't missed out on each other. I looked up and chuckled softly. In a serious tone, "The future is still long. After I finish my family matters, I will ask for your forgiveness properly." "Whatever you say." I'm hanging up. Lin Qingshui cut the call. She quickly took a few deep breaths, putting her hands on her slightly flushed cheeks, quickly fanning them to cool down. Li Hian beside her gave a wicked smile and asked, "Why aren't you crying anymore?" When Lin Qingshui's info was leaked by those fans who knows how many malicious private messages were sent to her phone, no matter how cold she looks on the outside, deep down in her heart, she is still just a 19-year-old girl. Lin Qingshui quickly shook her head, continuing to hold her phone. transforming into a social justice warrior. As she started posting comments again, after I hung up on Lin Qingshui, I took out from my suitcase an encrypted phone and dialed a sequence of numbers. I am Xiaowu, security code AC17171. I request to speak with Director Liu Changqing of the Security Bureau. After the call connected, Liu Changqing hurriedly said, Marshal Su, I am truly sorry. Rest assured your identity will absolutely not be leaked. Everyone involved? The Security Bureau will definitely investigate strictly. Then I'll leave it to you, Director Liu. But I must trouble you with one more thing. That girl at Capital University supporting me. I don't want her to be bothered by this matter anymore. It's no trouble at all. These things are what our security bureau should be doing anyway. However, Academician Su, may I ask a bold question? That student Lin Qingshui causing a stir online, is she your girlfriend? If that's the case, the security bureau will make the corresponding arrangements. For the relatives of top-tier scientific researchers, the Security Bureau has a whole series of security protocols, just like with my parents. The moment I stepped into the scientific research base 3 years ago, my parents were moved to a family residential area in the capital. Furthermore, their daily travel is all secured by personnel. I was stunned and paused for a few seconds. Unfortunately, she isn't yet. I understand. Don't worry, I'll have someone arrange it. Liu Changqing nodded repeatedly, hanging up while still muttering to himself. I knew it. Why would this kid suddenly run off to Capital University to study? Turns out he went to find his girlfriend. Now this is more like a young person. However, right after that, he frowned. Looking at the topic that was still constantly climbing the search trends. What's going on with this? Haven't we already started deleting some comments? Why is the heat still so high? Lily's fans are too numerous. We can't delete the comments fast enough. Once one wave is gone, another appears immediately. What did the person in charge over there say? If this heat isn't suppressed, do they want me to invite their boss to the security bureau for some tea? The person in charge isn't picking up, but I contacted a friend working there. He said regarding Lily's case, many investors have already jumped in, wanting to use this chance to hype Lily up again. His current commercial value is still very high. I don't care what investors are behind that Lily guy. Directly tell the technical department to shut down their entire server for me. As for everyone making inappropriate remarks online, ban all of their accounts. Bring all those investors to the security bureau for me. Let me see if their money is bigger, or if my size 49 Sachi boot is bigger. Additionally, notify the other agencies. Within 2 minutes, every piece of news related to Xiaowu online must completely disappear. At the same time, in the high-end VIP lounge, Lei was leisurely lying on a luxury massage chair, looking at the heatedly debated topic, his eyes filled with contempt and smugness. A mere nobody like you dares to challenge me? I only need to move a finger to make you regret it. The assistant beside him burst out laughing and began to flatter him. Brother Li, your fans are truly worth every penny. In less than half an hour, this topic is about to hit the #1 spot on the search trends. Your brand recognition has increased quite a bit again. Just as they were celebrating, little did they know, they were about to go stomp on sewing machines. At this moment, inside the security bureau, Liu Changqing directly threw the folder on the desk, down in front of the head of the cultural department. In just 10 minutes, the hot search keywords were immediately taken down. Online, not a single trace of Xiaowu's info could be found anymore. Lei saw this and immediately exclaimed in shock, "What's going on?" The assistant hurriedly contacted a senior manager working at that platform. After the call connected, that manager immediately lashed out in a rage. "I'm telling you, a huge mess has broken out this time. Out of our long-term relationship, I'll give you a piece of sincere advice. 1, you run away. 2, when the time comes, confess everything truthfully. Don't be stubborn, because with Lily's scandal this time, he's truly finished. Additionally, before 9 p.m. tonight, bring your company's senior managers to the Cultural Development Bureau. I'm inviting you all to have some tea together." The CEO of the management company was instantly stunned. Right then, the secretary rushed in with a panicked look. Director Sun, something's wrong. People from the tax bureau are here. They want to take away all the company's financial and tax documents. Back at the airport, Lala and his assistant constantly received notices of channel bans, canceled endorsements, and terminated contracts. They still didn't understand what was happening. When 4 plainclothes officers walked up with stern expressions and showed their badges, "Big star, good luck to you in the coming days." Layla immediately flew into a rage, but the moment he moved, he was pinned down by 2 officers. At the same time, in the girls' dorm at Capital University, Li Qian screamed in excitement, Qingshui, did you see? The authorities have made a move. This time, your Su Xiaowu is really lucky." Lin Qingshui nodded repeatedly. Then explained tsundere style, "I saw it. I solemnly declare once again, Xiaowu and I really have nothing to do with each other anymore." Result the next second. The phone in her hand started ringing. Her face immediately tensed up as she signaled for silence. Lin Qingshui looked anxious. "Stop being noisy. Xiaowu is calling." Li Xian immediately gave a sly smile. "Keep saying you and Xiaowu have nothing to do with each other. The moment he calls, you get all flustered like this. Go on, take a deep breath." Only then did she pick up my call. Lin Qingshui tried to act calm. "Xiaowu, is something up? I'm about to board the plane, so I called to let you know." Lin Qiangjie nodded thoughtfully, then immediately pouted, We don't even have a relationship. If you're boarding a plane, that's your business. What does it have to do with me? You don't need to call me. After saying that, she couldn't help but ask about the online situation. Did you see Lila got arrested? All the news related to you on the internet has completely vanished. Your luck is really good this time, happening to run into the state's crackdown on the entertainment industry's atmosphere. Yeah, I really have to thank the country. I didn't explain too much. If she thinks of it this way, it's naturally for the best. I don't need to waste words explaining further. At that moment, the boarding announcement echoed in the airport for the flight to Mobay. I have to board now. When I get back, I'll come find you. Oh, right. I also want to know what you meant by saying your ex-boyfriend died 3 years ago. Your ex-girlfriend. Lin Qingshui's face instantly turned beet red. What ex-boyfriend? I don't know anything. Go board your plane. I'm hanging up. After hanging up the phone, Lin Qingshui immediately became nervous. How did he remember that? Back then, I really thought he was dead. Who knew that he was still alive? How am I supposed to explain this? I can't just tell him that because I liked him so much that I gave him a dead man's title of ex-boyfriend. Right. But immediately after, she felt a bit suspicious, muttering to herself, passengers from the capital to Mobay. When did Xiao Wu move his house to Mobay? Before she could think it through, Li Tian leaned in close. Little Qingshui, do you know that the way you looked on the phone just now was exactly like a little girl in love? As for Lele at this moment, he was sitting dazed in the transport vehicle. He was still clinging to a sliver of hope, feeling like he could still salvage a little bit. He looked at the law enforcement officer beside him, his tone sounding flattering. Big bro, could you give me the phone and let me make a few calls? You definitely can't use the phone. Those are the rules, but I can let you take a look at the news outside right now. After saying that, he took out his own phone. Unexpectedly, the moment Lele saw it, the officer immediately cursed Old Wang. Stop the car and let me sit up front. This kid is so scared he just peed himself. In another development, Lin Qingshui, sitting in the girls' dorm, started missing him again. She looked at their call logs, gritting her teeth and blaming him Xiao Wu after going back. There's been zero news, not even telling me if he's home. Right then, Li Qian walked up with a wicked smile. Qingshui, if you're really still pining for him, then just send him a text. No way I'm this beautiful. Besides Xiao Wu, is it possible no one else wants me? Why should I be the one to text him first? In another development, in order to quickly research and develop a space shuttle engine, I began to bury myself in research documents, regardless of day or night. At 11 p.m., I went to Ye Jiangguo's dormitory, handing the USB drive in my hand to him. Director Ye, these are the ideas and blueprints for the aerospace engine research that I've done. Ye Jiangguo only looked through it for a moment before his expression gradually became serious, because the documents I provided were incredibly detailed. Suddenly, my phone rang. I'm sorry, Academician Ye. It's fine. It's this late already. It's probably your little girlfriend at Capital Uni texting, isn't it? Young people in love. I've been there too. You don't need to mind me. I picked up the phone to take a look. Sure enough, it was a message from Lin Qingshui. Did you get home yet? I'm home. Just chatting with someone else? What's up? The moment Lin Qingshui saw this message, her anger immediately flared up. She had finally managed to put down her stubborn ego, to reach out and proactively ask what he was doing. And yet, this guy dared to say he was chatting with someone else. He has time to chat with others, but doesn't have a single second to text me that he's home. After disappearing for 3 years, are we not even friends? Back when we were desk mates, even when he went to take a shower, he would text me first to let me know. Clearly, all men change. Was I just being sentimental? After a soft huff, Lin Qingshuo sent over a wall of texts. I guess I came at a bad time then, so I won't bother you anymore. Today, you just keep talking to that person? I'll come back tomorrow like this. I guess it's not too cold of a response. Don't you think good night, I'm going to sleep? Looking at the long message that Lin Qingshui suddenly sent, I instantly felt a bit confused. What is going on with this? And what is this tone of hers supposed to mean? Ye Jiangguo, seeing this from the side, hurriedly asked, Did you have a fight with your girlfriend? Back when I was courting my wife, I coaxed her so well. She was over the moon. If it's a relationship problem, you can consult this old man. And just like that one was bold enough to teach, while the other was bold enough to learn, Su Xiaowu sent Lin Qingshui a message like this. Okay then, you go to sleep first. The dorm has the AC on for the summer. Remember to tuck yourself in tonight, so you don't catch a cold. Good night. Love you to death, my little baby. On the other side, after Lin Qingshui saw it, her expression immediately froze. She gritted her teeth and typed away furiously. Xiao Yu, I haven't hit you in 3 years. Is your skin itching? For a beating, I was stunned. After a few seconds of hesitation, I immediately messaged back to ask, Isn't that what everyone says on the internet? Lin Qingshu was driven mad with anger and mad with anger. Xiao Wu, are you a caveman or something? Li Qian, sitting nearby, immediately had a gossiping look as she turned toward Lin Qingshui. Did your Xiao Wu make you angry? Lin Qingshui gripped the phone tightly in her hand. I've decided I won't pay any attention to him for at least 3 days. I bet it'll be 1 day at most. Ye Jiangguo looked at my dazed face. So did she go to sleep happily? Yeah, she went to sleep. The next morning, acting as a teaching assistant, Lin Qingshe was sitting on the training field, constantly opening her phone to check it. Li Tian, sitting next to her, hurriedly asked Lin Qingshui, "Is there a flower growing in that phone of yours? You glance at it every few minutes." "What's up?" Lin Qingshui immediately pouted, her tone filled with grievance. "Isn't it all because of Xiao Wu? Early this morning, I sent a good morning text over, yet it's almost noon now, and there hasn't been a single reply from that side. Even though I said I wouldn't talk to him for 3 days. It's not like I told him that directly. I even specifically posted a status on my moments, along with a photo of military training. After posting, I just waited for him to message me, even asking about the military training situation. At school would have been fine. Maybe I would have softened up and talked to him. Who knew I gave him a chance? And he didn't even know how to take it. Wait. Yesterday, you said you wouldn't look at him for 3 days. So can't he even send me one message?" Seeing this, Li Tian couldn't help but pinch Lin Qingshui's cheek. "I'm begging you, my little Qingshui. Do you have to be this cute? If he doesn't message you, then don't give him the time of day either. There are plenty of men out there. If it doesn't work, we'll just switch. It's not like you're lacking just because of that Xiao Wu guy." Lin Qingshu opened her phone to look once more. Still no messages at all. That afternoon at the scientific research base, dozens of top experts from various fields and professors were gathering together. Among everyone except for Wu Li, most of the others had received transfer orders and were immediately rushed to the Mobe scientific research base on an emergency basis. They had absolutely no idea what was happening. While everyone was buzzing with discussion, Ye Jiangguo finally brought Xiao Wu and Wu Li. Slowly walking into the meeting room, the experts whispered among themselves. Seeing his appearance, a few people in the room were stunned. They knew nothing about his achievements. But the research staff working at this base were at least 30 years old at the youngest, while the older ones like them were nearly 70 or 80 years old already. Everyone held a brief introductory meeting. The meeting lasted nearly 6 hours, stretching until after 2 a.m. before he finally concluded the session, during which he focused on explaining several theories for implementing the curvature engine device. Midway through, he also answered many questions posed by the experts and scholars. As the meeting ended, thunderous applause erupted like a storm. Along with that, the enthusiastic cheers of every research scholar echoed throughout the entire conference room. After saying goodbye to the experts, he went to the security locker at the door to retrieve his phone. As he turned the device on, he walked back to his dorm room at the guest house. After the phone booted up, he immediately saw the message sent by Lin Qingshui. The message was sent around 11 p.m. last night. It was just a brief good night message. Thinking for a few seconds, he smiled and replied, "Good night, sweet dreams." As a result, the very next second, Lin Qingshui's side replied to the message. Immediately. "Hey, our busy VIP. So you finally decided to reply to my text. Are you awake now?" Lin Qingshui gritted her teeth. "What do you mean awake? All day today, besides a good morning. A good morning greeting. You didn't send a single extra message." It made her feel like her heart was being scratched. Sending a good night text was also because she wanted him to text her back. But she just waited and waited, waiting all the way until now. Lin Qingshu took a deep breath, quickly calming her emotions, and only then slowly replied that she wasn't asleep yet. "Just gossiping with my roommate for a bit." "Is there a problem?" "No problem. So when do you plan to sleep?" "I don't know. Things at home are too busy. Busy to the point that you couldn't spare a moment all day to text me. This morning, I was busy finishing up some documents. In the afternoon, I welcomed experts and professors from all over. And in the evening, I had to hold a meeting with them too. It really was busy." "That's great then," Lin Qingshui thought to herself. "If you're that busy, then stop texting me. Just go handle your business properly." But in the end, she didn't send those thoughts in her heart. Instead, she asked curiously, "Last time you made me so mad, I got confused. I didn't even get a chance to ask. Xiao Wu, you suddenly ghosted for 3 years without a word. Don't you think you owe me an explanation?" But after thinking it over, she felt that asking like that seemed a bit too desperate. So she followed up with, "Of course, if you feel like there's no need to explain things to me, that's fine too. After all, it's not like we're in a relationship." Stupid to Xiao Wu ghosting for 3 years without a sound. The fact that this beauty is even willing to text you nicely now means you're already lucky. You better explain clearly the reason you left without a word 3 years ago. "Qingshui, can we please not mention this?" Lin Qingshu was so mad she wanted to punch her bed. But she still composed herself and quickly replied, "Oh, fine. Let's leave it at that then. I'm going to sleep." "Are you mad?" Lin Qingshui smirked. "This blockhead isn't completely hopeless yet, huh?" "Nope. How would I dare be mad at a busy VIP like the great genius Su? What if you get mad again and pull another disappearing act without a word, like 3 years ago? What would I do then?" "That won't happen. 3 years ago, there really was a reason. But I promise, I will absolutely never leave without a word again. I'm nothing to you anyway. You don't need to go out of your way to tell me that. Aren't we best friends?" "Just best friends. What else could we be?" A moment later, Lin Qingshui helplessly facepalmed. "He's a lost cause, a total lost cause. This guy's really beyond saving. I've made it this obvious. And he still doesn't get the hint. Never mind, I want to sleep. You should rest early too. Okay, then go to sleep. Good night. For the next few days, it was the same. Just chatting back and forth with some small talk. But every time I saw a message from Lin Qingshui, it became the only rare relaxation time in my busy scientific research schedule. 10 days later, the military training at Capital University was almost over. Inside the scientific research base in Mobe, the room was filled with thunderous applause. In these past 10 days, we stayed in the research base day and night just to build this model before us. If this model can run successfully, it means my theory is effective. Then today will be a historic day. In this lifetime, I never expected to see the possibility of a curvature engine becoming reality. It's truly extraordinary. If the model can operate perfectly, this is absolutely a giant leap in the field of dynamics for the entire world. Today will definitely be recorded in the history books. But Chief Engineer Chu has truly worked hard. This is the first time I've seen someone do scientific research with such life-risking intensity. And as soon as those words were spoken, everyone present turned their eyes toward me one after another. If a day ago, I relied on my theoretical knowledge to convince everyone here, then now, it's thanks to my intense scientific research charisma. I smiled at everyone. Don't praise me just yet. Prepare to conduct the activation experiment for the first time. Xiao Wu, do you want to take a day off? Besides, we can conduct the activation experiment tomorrow. No need, I can still pull through. Let's just proceed directly with the activation. Ye Jianguo knew he couldn't change my mind. After letting out a soft sigh, he quietly stood to the side. Very soon after, the research staff brought over a red activation button. Chief Engineer Chu, please do the honors. I took a deep breath, preparing to press the button, but suddenly turned my head to look at Ye Jianguo beside me. Director Ye, maybe you should do it. I'm a bit nervous. You brat! Are you still trying to be humble with me here? You are the chief engineer, so you do it. All right, I'm pressing it. I nodded, and then, with a solemn gaze, I pressed down on the button in my hand. Everyone held their breath and focused their minds. Immediately after, the model of the curvature engine instantly began to operate. Powerful electrical energy was funneled inside. Throughout the entire research base, flashes of red light began to flicker. Continuous notification sounds began to reach everyone's ears. Activation successful. Starting the curvature engine chamber. As the final countdown ended, a sphere weighing 100 kilograms was dropped directly from the air into the curvature field. The sphere, which should have fallen straight down, the moment it entered the curvature field, shot straight forward. Finally, it slammed hard into a giant iron door. 100 meters away. Witnessing this scene, everyone's hearts that were hanging by a thread finally settled. Throughout the entire base, wild cheers erupted. We succeeded. We succeeded. The curvature engine is feasible. The curvature engine is actually possible. Countless people embraced each other, sobbing with pure joy. Ye Jianguo's eyes turned red. He had dedicated his entire life to engines. From the very beginning, watching Huaxia's fighter jets build engine technology from zero, he had tasted every hardship on that journey. He yearned more than anyone for Huaxia's aerospace sector to stand at the peak of the world. And today, he finally got to see it. After the surge of emotion, I slowly bowed to everyone. Xiao Wu would like to thank you all for your understanding. I'll have to trouble you for the rest of the journey. But just as I lowered my head slightly, I felt my mind becoming increasingly heavy. A bad feeling washed over me. Lately, my body has been severely exhausted. My stamina could no longer hold out. Instinctively, my body began to stagger slightly. Ye Jianguo was the first to notice my condition. He rushed forward. Xiao Wu, what's wrong? Because since early this morning, Ye Jianguo had already noticed. Something was off with my mental state. But because the curvature engine equipment model was about to be assembled, I forced myself to hold on to that last bit of spirit. Now that the model test was over, the breath I was holding onto finally dissipated. I gave a bitter smile. My physical fitness is still too weak, just staying up for 10 days, and my spirit has already reached this state. I basically understood my current situation. It's just pure exhaustion. I just don't know how many days I'll be comatose. I hope it won't be too long, or else Lin Qingshui will worry again. Then, using my last bit of strength, I glanced at Ye Jianguo with weary eyes. I'll have to trouble you all again this time. The next second, I slowly closed my eyes. My body lost control and began to fall forward. I faintly heard Ye Jianguo shouting toward the door. Quick, get over here. Take him to Mobe Military Hospital immediately. In the sky above Capital University, 4 of Huaxia's most modern fighter jets roared past. Right in the middle of those 4 warplanes was an armed transport plane flying steadily. Students who were on their break turned their heads one by one to look at the blue sky. Everyone had a look of pure shock on their faces. Good lord, 4 fighter jets as escorts. The person sitting in that transport plane. Just what kind of big shot are they? Or maybe they're transporting some vital supplies. To the point that even fighter jets had to be deployed. Just what kind of major event is happening? Anyway, some students even took out their phones to snap photos. The military training instructors, who were originally being chill, suddenly jumped up. Everyone put your phones down? No photos allowed. Delete every single photo you took from me. Along with the rapid-fire reprimands, the head instructor's voice also echoed over the loudspeakers. Everyone, break time is over. Put those phones in your hands down. Even though right now it's still unknown why so many fighter jets and transports are being deployed at the same time like this, it's certain that something major has happened. As for other areas in the capital, it wasn't that there were no people who captured this scene, but the shocking thing was, either the videos in their hands completely failed to send, or after being sent successfully, less than a minute later, they were all wiped clean. Lin Qingshui looked up at the sky, where the fighter jets were screaming past. For some reason, she suddenly felt an uneasy feeling in her heart. Li Tian quickly noticed the anomalies. Qingshui, what's wrong with you? Your face looks really pale. I'm fine, I just suddenly felt a bit uncomfortable. A little rest and I'll be okay. However, her eyes remained glued to the warplanes that were rapidly streaking across the sky. 3 days later, at the intensive care unit of the Capital Military Hospital, after I was brought to the Capital General Hospital, the higher-ups directly issued an order to mobilize almost every top expert in the hospital to gather here, to examine and hold a consultation for me. This caused all of them to be on edge. Not until they confirmed I was only suffering from extreme exhaustion and needed rest did everyone finally breathe a sigh of relief. Meanwhile, on the training field of Capital University, Li Tian turned and asked Lin Qingshui, do you want some milk tea? I'm not drinking anything, I'm feeling down. I don't want to eat anything at all. What's wrong with you? For the past 3 days, you've been like a lost soul. What happened? After snapping out of it, Li Qian started smiling and asked her, it's not because of Wang Tujie, is it? I heard. He plans to confess to you tonight at the freshman party. Are you worried about that? You talk. That's not the main reason. Since 3 days ago, after I sent a good morning text to him, he's just vanished into thin air. I've sent so many messages one after another, but I haven't received a single reply. It's like he's gone missing again. At the Capital Military General Hospital, while the 2 old academicians were bickering, I was lying on the hospital bed. My fingers suddenly twitched slightly. Immediately after, I slowly opened my eyes. Using my peripheral vision, I glanced at Ye Jiangguo and Wang Weimin beside me, weakly asking my phone, where is my phone? Ye Jiangguo immediately jumped up from the sofa in the patient room, overjoyed as he rushed to my side, then shouted toward the hallway, Little Sue, you're awake, doctor. Doctor, come quickly. The patient is awake. I looked at the 2 extremely excited men in front of me. Didn't I just take a nap? Waking up shouldn't really cause this much of a stir, right? Immediately after, I repeated myself once more. You two, could one of you spare a moment to help me grab my phone? Also just asking how many days have I been out this time? Ye Jiangguo nodded repeatedly and brought the phone to me. It's been 3 days. I took it and quickly turned on the screen. A flood of notifications instantly appeared before my eyes. It was a long string of messages from Lin Qingshui. Good night. Did you pull an all-nighter? Where are you, Xiao Wu? Are you planning to go missing again? Still not replying to my text? Xiao Wu, I'm giving you half an hour more. If you still don't answer, I'll never look at your face again. Xiao Wu, you jerk. I'm giving you one last chance. Answer me now. Xiao Wu, where on earth did you go? Xiao Wu, I hate you. Bro, I've got some urgent news for you. At our department's freshman party in 2 days, the vice president of the student union, a sophomore, is planning to confess to Senior Lin. Have you finished dealing with your family business yet? I scrolled through the screen and clicked to view the class group messages. Attention all members. Tonight is our freshman welcome party. All students must have an entry ticket to enter the main hall. Do not lose your entry tickets under any circumstances. Also those in our class who prepared a performance, give it your all tonight. Bring glory to our class. After quickly reading through the series of messages, I immediately raised my head, calling out to the doctors who had just reached the door. Can I be discharged from the hospital today? Before the doctors could even react, Ye Jiangguo and Wang Weimin spoke in unison, looking at Xiao Wu with concern. Little Sue, didn't the doctor say you need to get proper rest? Why do you want to be discharged today? If it's to attend the victory celebration tonight, we can have someone come to the hospital to pick you up. Pushing a wheelchair over there is the same thing. Or if you ask me, it's best not to go at all. The doctor also stepped in front of me. Mr. Su, getting discharged today isn't a problem. But can you guarantee that your body can fully recover within this half day? I can guarantee it. I looked at Wang Weimin and Ye Jiangguo. How is the victory celebration arranged? The venue for the celebration is the Grand Hall, starting at 7 o'clock. Around 7:30, high-level leaders will arrive for awards and speeches. Then it ends at 8 o'clock, and we'll move to the Zhongshan Pavilion State Guest House to start the dinner banquet. I glanced at the time for the freshman welcome party on my phone again. The freshman party starts at 8 p.m. How long does it take to get from Zhongshan Pavilion to my school? That place is very close, only about 10 minutes. Ye Jiangguo was instantly shocked. Xiao Wu, don't tell me you want to go back to school. With your physical condition, will you be okay? I'll be fine. Please wait a moment while I get up and help me order a meal while you're at it. After eating, I'll start my recovery exercises. Wait until tonight after the victory celebration. I won't be joining you two for dinner. Just have a car ready for me to take me back to school. Why do you have to go back today of all days? The doctor said, you only need 2 or 3 days of rest to be healthy. What's the rush for those 2 or 3 days? I sighed helplessly. Because my house is about to be robbed. inside the Capital University auditorium. Whether it was freshmen or upperclassmen, everyone had gathered in full, sitting row by row in the seats of the auditorium. Lin Qingshui was standing backstage at the hall, in the lounge, waiting to adjust her outfit. Wang Tuji immediately smiled and walked up to Lin Qingshui. So class rep feeling nervous? I'm okay. Lin Qingshui coldly replied with a single sentence, then sat down on the chair in her lounge, raising her hand to casually play with her phone. Seeing this, Wang Tuji was slightly taken aback, but in the very next moment, his gaze became even more determined. Chu Pengfei and the others were sitting in their seats. Inside the auditorium, the three roommates were whispering among themselves. I'm telling you, our bro probably won't be late tonight, right? He said he'd come over to join the party tonight. He just messaged the dorm group, saying he's on his way. He'll definitely be here in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Then it's fine. Wait, what's this? Quick look at the class group. The academic advisor just sent a message saying the girl preparing our class performance suddenly feels unwell. She's in so much pain she went straight to the infirmary. It's unlikely she can go on stage. The teacher is asking the group if anyone knows how to play piano. Do any of you know how to play? That's a definite no from me. Next person then. In the class group, I suddenly replied to the message. I know how. I can go on for her. Immediately after, I sent another message to the dorm group. How much longer until our class performance starts? Probably about half an hour. Got it. I'm almost there. A few minutes later, that black sedan instantly pulled up in front of the Capital University auditorium gates. Thank you, sir. Sorry for the trouble. After saying goodbye to the driver, I immediately rushed toward the auditorium entrance. Seeing me, several student union members guarding the hall entrance were momentarily stunned, and then they blocked me right at the entrance. Hey, student, which department are you from? Tonight, this is the freshman welcome party for our management department. You can't enter without a ticket. I'm from class 1 of the management department, but I left my entry ticket back at the dorm. Could you let it slide just this once? Hey kid, how can you even prove that you're from our management department? Do you have your student ID number? I quickly nodded, sent a message telling Chu Pengfei's group to come get me at the entrance, then immediately opened my phone's photo album to find the photo of my student ID. The student union member took my phone, carefully comparing for a while between the ID photo and the real person, muttering, Su Xiaowu, right? You look better in person than in the photo? All right, go on in. Thanks, sis. Oh my god. Bro, you're finally back. Where is Lin Qingshui right now? Where else could she be? At this hour, she's definitely in the lounge. Backstage at the grand hall. We can't get into the backstage area. Only performers are allowed in. Wait, no, we can't. But Xiaowu definitely can. Isn't he the piano performer? For our class now. Bro, I didn't know you could play the piano. I learned a bit as a kid. So what are we waiting for? Let's go. Let's go inside the lounge. Zhang Mianyang leaned close to the senior sister, in charge of program coordination. Sister, I'm really sorry. Could you please let us change the musical piece? What is wrong with you guys? It's almost time to perform and you suddenly swap people. And now you even want to change the song. If every class caused chaos like yours, then could this freshman welcome party even be held anymore? Sister, we are truly, extremely sorry. It's mainly because our replacement student isn't very proficient with that piece yet. Please let us swap it. Where is the replacement? Tell him to come here and talk to me himself. Well, our bro isn't good at talking. He's a bit shy. Look, he's standing right over there. Sister, please do us a favor. The senior sister looked over at me, and her eyes instantly lit up. You mean the boy playing the piano is him? I know this piece, The Maiden's Prayer. It expresses a young girl's longing for beautiful dreams. This song, is he playing it for his girlfriend? No way. Sister, our bro here from childhood until now? Forget about dating. He hasn't even held a girl's hand before. But you know we're just temporary subs? He didn't have any prior preparation. So fearing any mistakes, he chose the one piece he knows by heart. So that's how it is. I agree to the song change, but I'm taking a risk here. In exchange, you have to do me a small favor. Just say the word. After the freshman party ends, I want his contact information. No problem. After heading back, Zhao Minyoung asked me suspiciously, Bro, why did you insist on choosing this piece? Because I once made a promise to someone that I would play it for them at the talent show during our high school sports festival. But before the show could even start, I had already transferred schools. That person was Lin Qingshui. Senior Lin, no way you're smooth, bro. You're really something else. Half an hour passed quickly. Lin Qingshui and Wang Tuji received the introduction card for the revised program, holding the new intro they prepared to present. After glancing at the name written on the card, she suddenly froze on the spot. In that instant, her mind went completely blank. Class rep, what's wrong? Lin Qingshui took a deep breath. After shaking her head, her voice trembled slightly. Next, please welcome Su Xiaowu from class 1 of the management department, performing the piano piece, The Maiden's Prayer. As soon as she finished speaking, the student union staff walked up from backstage, pushing a piano from the side of the stage to one side of the main stage. All right, Junior Su, It's your turn to go on. Good luck, I nodded, then slowly left the backstage lounge, stepping up the stairs one by one to walk onto the stage. My gaze locked onto Lin Qingshui, who was standing on the opposite side of the stage with an expressionless face. Then, I walked toward the audience. After a slight bow, I sat down on the bench beside the piano. The stage spotlights from above shone directly on me, and on the large screen at the very back of the stage, the camera position also captured my handsome and sharp profile. The crowd of girls below instantly went into a daze. Chu Pengfei, Zhao Mingyang, and Wang Lei, after Xiao Wu went on stage, had returned to their class seats. On the way back, hearing the buzzing, chatter of the girls around them, the three of them were momentarily speechless. At this time, the melodious piano sounds I played gradually began to echo in everyone's ears. In a corner of the stage, Wang Tujie noticed Lin Qingshui's emotional fluctuation. Class rep, what's wrong? Nothing. Just as she looked up, Lin Qingshui's gaze immediately locked with mine as I looked toward her. At this moment, instinctively, Lin Qingshui's eyes began to avoid me. My heart tightened slightly, but I also slowly withdrew my gaze and began to focus on playing the piano. Until the piece ended, I stood up slightly again and walked to the center of the stage. After a slight bow to the audience below, I stood on one side of the stage, taking one deep look at Lin Qingshui before slowly walking off the stage. Lin Qingshui quickly suppressed her emotions and walked onto the stage with Wang Tujie. After introducing the next performance, she looked at Wang Tujie and said, I have something to do. I need to go backstage for a moment. If I can't make it back in time later, just go ahead and host the rest of the show yourself. Lin Qingshui had just entered the lounge from the stage, and before her eyes could even find him, her right hand was grabbed by him. Come outside with me for a moment. Lin Qingshui didn't struggle. With an expressionless face, she let him pull her into the hallway outside the lounge. As soon as the lounge door closed, Lin Qingshui forcefully jerked away, shaking off his tightly gripping hand. She looked at him coldly. Xiao Wu, haven't you messed around enough? 3 days ago, you vanished without a word, and now you suddenly show up and even run onto the stage to perform. What do you want dragging me out here? Do you think this is funny? Or do you want to see how much I've struggled over the past 2 days? Qingshui, I'm truly ashamed. But he didn't know how to explain. He couldn't just say he had been asleep in the hospital for 3 whole days. You what, Xiao Wu? I admit I liked you back in high school. Even when school first started, when I heard you were still alive, I was so happy. Because I still held on to feelings for the you of the past. That's why I rushed to the male dorms early in the morning just to wait for you. But that isn't an excuse for you to play with my feelings. Time and time again, last time you left without a word, I didn't even ask for a reason. But now you vanished without a trace. For 3 whole days. What were you doing? You didn't pick up the phone, didn't reply to my messages. Do you really think that because I like you, you can do whatever you want with me? Qingshui, I really didn't mean to. There was a reason I didn't reply for 3 days. It really wasn't intentional. Besides, I came to Capital University specifically for you. Give me one more chance, I promise. That from now on, I will never suddenly disappear without a reason again. Is this your explanation? At that time, I really ran into some trouble. Then just say it. What exactly was the reason? No matter how busy you were, it couldn't have been so bad that you couldn't send a single text. Forget it, you don't need to explain anymore. Xiao, I don't care why you suddenly vanished 3 years ago, or why you came to Capital University now. I don't care about any of it anymore. Over the past 3 days, I've thought it through. Whether you want to reply to my text or not is up to you. Go wherever you want, be as free as you like. From now on, your life has absolutely nothing to do with me anymore. That way, I won't have to live in constant anxiety, wondering when you'll leave again, without a word. I'm exhausted, Xiao Wu. I will never like you again. Let's just end it here. Our paths won't cross anymore. From now on, let's act like we're strangers. As she finished her words, she brushed past me with a cold face, quickly pushing open the back door of the lounge and striding straight inside, drawing everyone's eyes there. Not until Lin Qingshui stepped onto the other side of the stage did a single glistening tear silently roll down from her beautiful eyes. But she quickly wiped that tear away. After taking a deep breath, she suppressed the pain in her heart and forced a smile onto her lips. Passing by each other like strangers? Iso. It was all just her acting. But the story can only end here. Perhaps only after letting go completely. Would she no longer have to worry about when he would suddenly disappear again? Her youth has truly come to an end. I watched Lin Qingshui's retreating back, wanting to call out and stop her. But after a moment of hesitation, I silently turned and left the backstage hallway. Trung. After sending a message to ask Chu Pengfei about our class's seating location, I headed back to my class's seats. As soon as I sat down, Chu Pengfei's group swarmed me. Bro, did your confession to Lin Qingshui succeed? What confession stopped with that? You joined this performance. Wasn't it just to get into the hall, to find Lin Qingshui and confess? It's nothing. The confession failed. She's angry because I didn't reply for 3 days. Man, this one's on you. There's a saying online, 3 days without a reply means a breakup by default. You haven't even won her over yet, but you went radio silent for 3 days. No wonder she's pissed. So bro, what happened these past 3 days? Why did you suddenly vanish? Never mind. What's done is done. Let's not bring it up. Just focus on the show. Confidentiality rules stated clearly that what I do is destined to never be revealed to unrelated people. It's fine, she's just throwing a tantrum. As long as she doesn't accept that Wang Tujie guy's confession tonight, you still have a chance later. At least she still wants to be mad at you. If she didn't even care enough to be angry, that's when you'd truly be cooked. Are you still talking? You said if she doesn't accept Wang Tujie, Yao Wu has a chance. What if she actually says yes to Wang Tujie's confession tonight? Well, that's not the end. Even married people get divorced. Let alone just accepting a confession. Alright, I'm fine. Let's just leave it at that. We'll worry about the future later. Right, since you're back just in time, our class has a get-together tonight. Everyone's going to karaoke tonight. KTV room 3 is already booked. Let's go sing tonight. Or just grab some drinks. There's no obstacle that can't be overcome. But I probably won't be drinking any soda. My stomach hasn't been feeling great these past 2 days. I'll just come along and hang out with everyone and get to know some faces while I'm at it. Otherwise, having been enrolled for so long, without knowing my classmates would be pretty awkward. In the future, if there aren't any critical projects, I'll likely be staying on campus consistently. Getting to know everyone is the right thing to do. I can manage that much. Alright, ha 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 ha. Tonight, this young master will show you all. Exactly what? It's called the voice of a KTV king on stage. Wang Tuji quickly walked up to Lin Qingxue. Class rep, what's wrong? Did something happen? It's nothing. Lin Qingxue shook her head blankly, then completely ignored Wang Tujie. Her vacant eyes stared at the other performers on stage. Time flew by. The duration of the freshman welcome party was only 2 hours long. After the final performance ended, Lin Qingxue and Wang Tujie went on stage together for the closing speech. But once the closing speech was finished, just as everyone was preparing to disperse, Wang Tujie, who had likely arranged this beforehand, had the stage spotlights suddenly focused directly on him. Right after that, a student from the side of the stage immediately brought a bouquet of roses to Wang Tujie. Seeing this scene play out on the big screen, the students who were planning to leave all sat back down one by one, looking ready for some serious drama. Please give me a few minutes of your time. I hope everyone here can bear witness to this moment for me. Wang Tujie gripped the mic in his hand, looked at the crowd in the stands, and spoke loudly. Lin Qingxue, from the first moment I met you freshman year, I fell deeply in love with you. Now I would like to confess to you in front of all the students in the department. With that, he raised the fresh bouquet in his hand and held it out in front of Lin Qingxue. I've liked you for a year and chased you for a year. I want to get to know you, to know what the world looks like through your eyes. I don't know when it started, but I realize I can't be without you anymore. So today I hope you can give me a chance for me to officially stand by your side and be together with you. As his words fell, the entire grand hall instantly fell into a moment of silence. The very next second, everyone in the stands began to buzz with chatter. This guy is pretty smart. Doing this in front of so many people? How is she supposed to say yes or no? Bro, say something. Do you want to go up there? But before I could even open my mouth, Lin Qingxue spoke directly to Wang Tujie. I'm sorry. I know that me accepting your confession is the result you desire. But for me, if I'm going to be with someone, I truly have to really like them. However, it's a pity, because there is no way I can like you the way you like me. So I can't agree to this. Furthermore, Wang Tujie, I've made it very clear to you for a long time now. I don't like you. Therefore, today is the last time. There won't be a next time. After saying that, she took the mic and without any hesitation, turned around to leave. I breathed a sigh of relief. All right then. The party is over. Let's go back to the dorm to shower and change clothes first. Aren't we going to KTV later? Right. Let's go. I looked up again, glancing at Lin Qingxue's retreating back. After a sigh, my gaze became determined. I followed Chu Pengfei's group out of there. Love and ideals do not conflict. I won't give up that easily. On the school's main road, Li Qian was standing next to Lin Qingxue. Qingxue, the way you rejected Wang Tujie just now, was actually way too cold. I just feel bad for old Wang having to take such a hit. Should we really just walk away that heartlessly? Maybe you should go be his girlfriend then. Lin Qingxue gave Li Tian an annoyed glare. I don't like him anyway. He's the one who insisted on confessing in front of so many people. What was I supposed to do? Since he was able to grandly confess in front of such a crowd, he should have been mentally prepared for the confession. To fail. I'm not going to indulge that bad habit of his. Fair point. Let's talk about something else then. Earlier, did your little junior Su Xiaowu go backstage to find you? What happened between you two? Don't you dare bring him up to me. From now on, he and I have no relation whatsoever. In my heart, he already died 3 years ago. Well, Li Tian hesitated for a few seconds. She had also realized by now that Lin Qingxue's current mood was very unstable, especially when mentioning Su Xiaowu. It felt like she wanted to kill someone. Then let's change the subject. Li Tian gave a forced laugh, then held up the phone in her hand, bringing the screen in front of Lin Qingxue. Check out this news just posted online. our country's Chinese Academy of Sciences has developed 1 nanometer precision lithography technology and even manufactured 1 nanometer level chips. Maybe before long, we'll be able to use chips produced by our own country. This time, I'm definitely supporting domestic products. I'm not really interested. Her mood was currently terrible. She only glanced at Li Tian's phone screen, superficially, before turning her head away. However, in the next second, she immediately turned back and snatched the phone from Li Tian's hand. Wait a sec. Let me take a closer look. After saying that, she stared intently at Li Tian's phone screen. On it was a photo, posted from the Academy of Sciences press conference on Huabo. After zooming in, she began to observe carefully. This is just a normal press conference photo. What's there to see? This is Su Xiaowu. Lin Qingxue was stunned. Although the photo only captured a back view at the very edge of the front row, clothes being worn, and that back view were identical to his. Other things she might misidentify, but his back view she absolutely could not be mistaken about. Recalling the medal I was just wearing on my chest earlier, at first she didn't think much of it. But after seeing this photo of his back, a bold thought immediately flashed through her mind. Su Xiaowu disappeared. Could it be because he went to this press conference? But how old is he? Where would he get the ability to participate in a press conference of this caliber? Those must all be high-level figures in the scientific research community. Moreover, he was even sitting in the front row. That was even more unbelievable. But that back view, she absolutely did not see it wrong. What's wrong, Changqian? Let's head back to the dorm. After returning to the dormitory, Lin Qingxue personally searched for that high-res photo. After observing it carefully for a while, she immediately opened her laptop and quickly searched the internet. Many medal designs shared similarities with the medal I wore on my chest, but they didn't seem to completely match any of them. Qingxue, what are you searching for online? Nothing, just looking up some materials. I'm done searching now. Qian, tell me the people who attended the Academy of Sciences press conference. What kind of people are they? Most likely academicians from the Academy of Sciences, senior researchers from the institute, or leaders from the General Administration of Tech. I guess so. Lin Qingxue nodded slightly, finally unable to help but mock herself with a laugh. What was I even hoping for just now? Hoping that Su Xiaowu was attending the Academy of Sciences press conference and had to sign an NDA or something. And that's why he couldn't use his phone to text me for the past 3 days. How could that be possible? Besides, even if that really was Su Xiaowu, what does it have to do with me? He and I are already a thing of the past. After I returned to the dorm, I changed out of the suit I was wearing, carefully unpinned the medal from the jacket, and put it away in my desk drawer. Then I grabbed some clean clothes and hurried into the dorm bathroom to shower. At 10:30 p.m., I went with Chu Pengfei and the guys to a KTV bar in downtown capital city. The organizer of this event was Wang Tujie, the temporary class rep of my class. Military training is finally over. We have tomorrow off, so tonight nobody leaves until they're wasted. In the middle of the fun, I prepared to head to the restroom. As it turned out, I walked a full lap and still couldn't find it. Right at that moment, from the side hallway, a group of guys and girls suddenly came rushing out. What's going on? Running so fast, instinctively avoiding trouble. I immediately prepared to make a quick exit. But right then, shouts from several men suddenly rang out in my ears. Everyone freeze, don't you dare run. I turned my head to look and saw a few men quickly giving chase. I picked up my pace to retreat even faster. But before I could even take 2 steps, one of the pursuers grabbed me by the collar. Stay put, buddy. Buddy. Me again, buddy? Is there a problem? I'm the police. Obediently, follow me back to the booth. Later, we'll take all of you to the station. Why did I do something wrong? What are you doing? What did we do? Don't you already know in your heart? Good grief, why arrest me? I didn't even do anything. I'm innocent. Everyone we catch says the same thing. If you're innocent, why did you run when you saw us? Save it. Follow us back to the booth and then we'll talk. That man took me back to a booth. In the dark room, 7 or 8 guys and girls were crouching. Then one by one, they were forced to turn around. Officer, I'm really not in the same group as them. I just came to sing with my friends. If you don't believe me, I can call them and have them come here to testify. Fine, go ahead and call. He glanced at me, comparing me to the others in the room, and slowly nodded. I was internally relieved. I quickly took out my phone and called the number for my dorm group. As it turns out, maybe the music in the KTV was too loud, or maybe everyone was just too wasted. Not a single person picked up. Do you remember the booth number? I forgot. I forgot that from the very beginning. I never actually knew the booth number. Then just stay here obediently. Later at the station, if you don't have any issues, you'll naturally be allowed to leave. Our police station isn't far from here. At that time, you can just call your friends to pick you up. Just call my friends to pick me up. My eyes lit up slightly as I looked at everyone thoughtfully. Right then, the door to booth 3 was pushed open. 2 men wearing long black outfits walked up to plainclothes police officers. They casually took out their IDs. Comrades, we can testify for him. He really isn't with the people in this booth, so we must take this person with us. You guys are... He took the badge, turned on the booth lights, and after clearly seeing the contents on the badge, his expression immediately became solemn. You're from the Security Bureau, Mr. Su. We were ordered by our superiors to arrange for your safety and protection. You two? Do I even know you? I suggest you don't stick your noses where they don't belong. My gaze immediately became full of resentment. The two of them looked at each other, a bit confused by what was happening. From the booth over there, Chu Pengfei called. Bro, what's up? Why did you call me? It's nothing, just that in the middle of this, I have some business to take care of. You guys go ahead and have fun first. So, are you coming back later? That depends on the situation. Alright then, go take care of your business. The booth fell into silence, especially the young men and women crouching on the floor. Their expressions were even more dazed. Officer, I can testify for this brother here. He really isn't part of our group. Just let him go. And you don't. Stick your nose where it doesn't belong either. I glared at that leader guy, then looked toward the lead officer. Officer, later after I'm taken in, and it's confirmed I haven't done anything wrong. I can call someone to pick me up. Right. Yes, you can. Then that's fine. When are we leaving? If it's any later, I'm afraid my school dorm will be locked. The person picking me up won't be able to get out. Who else are you trying to get to pick you up? The people from the Security Bureau have already stepped it up to testify for you. Why aren't you leaving yet? What are you planning? I'm looking for a friend. My excuse, isn't it obvious right here? I've been caught by the police. The Security Bureau agent's mouth twitched. You two have been following me this whole time. The two agents looked at each other. One of them typed a paragraph of text on his phone for me to see. Because your identity has been leaked online to prevent any foreign organizations from harming you. For the foreseeable future, we will be by your side to protect you. Thanks. Sorry for the trouble. Soon after the police finished the arrests, they also took a voluntary citizen like me onto the police car back to the station. My situation was quickly cleared up, with Security Bureau agents testifying and cameras showing I was wrongly arrested. After a simple report, everything was fine. The two Security Bureau agents also vanished. They were only responsible for protecting me from the shadows. I checked the time on my phone, 11:20 p.m. Only 40 minutes left until the midnight curfew. I grabbed my phone and texted Lin Qingshui. Qingshui, save me. After Lin Qingshui saw the message, her heart instantly skipped a beat. She sent back a question mark. What's wrong? I've been arrested. I need someone to bail me out. Xiao Wu, are you insane? After sending that text, Lin Qingshui sent another 60-second voice message. Previously, I would have just ignored voice messages. The other people in your dorm can't come get you. Why does it have to be me? What kind of relationship do we even have? I can't reach them on their phones. I don't know where they went. For the sake of our past, come bail me out just this once. You're not going to just leave me to die, right? I was wrongly arrested. I just need someone to come sign for my release. Half an hour later, Lin Qingshui walked into the police station where I was being held. Miss, how can I help you? Yes, excuse me, could I ask, is there a person named Su Xiaowu being held here? I'm here to bail him out. You're his girlfriend, right? Did you have a fight with your boyfriend? Hurry up and take your boyfriend home. He's not my boyfriend. But what do you mean, hurry up and take him home? The story about your boyfriend has already spread throughout our station. He was probably with his roommates, singing in the KTV bar, then just happened to run into our officers on duty, so he was wrongly arrested. Even though his innocence was proven back at the KTV, he still insisted on being difficult, demanding to follow our staff back to the station, saying he had to wait for a friend to pick him up. You young couple, no argument is too big to get over. Just take him home and give him a piece of your mind. Even husband and wife fight at the start of the bed, and make up by the end of it. I see your boyfriend put in a lot of effort just to see you. Yes. I'm so sorry for the trouble, officers. Under the guidance of the duty officer, Lin Qingshui quickly found me sitting, waiting in the lounge. As soon as the duty officer left, her expression immediately turned cold. She strode toward me. Su Xiaowu, is there something wrong with your head? Didn't I already say it? Our paths won't cross anymore from now on. Do you not understand what that means? Calling me to travel all this way, just to scold you, is really unnecessary. You ran to the police station just for this. Why didn't you just let the police lock you up for a few days to calm down? But even if the police actually lock me up, it's still better than you truly not wanting to see me. I looked up slightly, showing a pitiful expression. Lin Qingshui stayed firm. Don't act? Pitiful. Get up right now. Do you believe I'll give you a slap? That'll drain your health insurance card dry. I've already had my rabies shot. You think I'm afraid of you, right? Right. Even coming to the police station, you aren't afraid. So what else would you be afraid of? If you're so tough, don't text me to pick you up. Since you're not, let's go. Or do you want to stay the night? I silently stood up, standing beside Lin Qingshui like a little bride, to talk. After leaving the police station, Lin Qingshui stood in front of me, with watery eyes asking if I was okay. I nodded slightly. My stomach suddenly growled loudly. Hungry, right? In that case, let's go grab something to eat. The two of us didn't say a word the whole way, walking and stopping intermittently, until finally at an intersection, we found a BBQ stall. After ordering a few random grilled dishes, Lin, King Ishui, told the owner to bring 2 chilled drinks. Chilled drinks. She used an opener to pop them, poured a glass for herself, then poured one for me. Drink up first. I glanced at the glass, recalling the doctor's orders when I was discharged this afternoon. For these 2 days, you must eat light meals. No smoking, no cold drinks, you hear me? But in the next second, I nodded without hesitation, picked up the glass and clinked it with Lin Qingshui's. I downed the whole glass in one gulp, getting goosebumps all over. I stole a glance at Lin Qingshui. Why are you looking at me? It's nothing. Then why are you still looking? I just couldn't help it. Stop acting pitiful, and hurry up and eat your BBQ. I silently picked up a skewer of grilled meat. Lin Qingshui watched me eat, with a complicated gaze. After a few bites, I looked at Lin Qingshui. Why aren't you eating? I'm waiting for your apology first. I'm sorry. Is that all? Lin Qingshui frowned. 3 years ago, you left without a word. I'm sorry. The past few days, you didn't reply to my texts. I'm sorry. Barely acceptable. So, how do you plan to make it up to me? You tell me. As long as you can do it, it's simple. Tell me where on earth you've been for the past 3 years. Why did you suddenly disappear? I can't say. It's not that you can't say. It's that you don't want to say then. Lin Qingshui stood up. If that's the case, then I'm leaving. Don't go. I grabbed her hand. I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything. Lin Qingshui stopped in her tracks and turned her head to look at me. 3 years ago, my family had some trouble, so I was forced to leave. A few days ago, my phone broke and had to be repaired, which is why I didn't reply to your text. Is that all fine? I believe you. Lin Qingshui sat down and picked up a skewer to eat. I breathed a sigh of relief. So, are we friends now? Of course. That's great. The two of us ate and chatted, and the atmosphere gradually softened. By the time we finished the barbecue, it was already midnight. Where should we go now? I don't know, the dorms are probably locked. Let's go to a hotel. Huh, what are you thinking? We'll book 2 rooms. Fine. The two of us walked to a hotel entrance and went inside. How can I help you guests? Please book 2 rooms for us. The male receptionist glanced at our tightly held hands. He dazed out for a moment, then said with annoyance, Currently, our hotel only has luxury couple suites left. The room rate is 400 and the deposit is 200. Do you want it? Maybe we should try somewhere else. Let me check. Lin Qingshui picked up her phone to search. All the surrounding hotels had no vacancies left. Is there a sofa in the room? Yes. Then we'll take this one room. I'll sleep on the sofa tonight and you take the bed. Okay? After checking in, the two of us entered the room. As soon as we walked in, we saw rose petals in the middle of the bed. Arranged in a heart shape, Lin Qingshui's cheeks instantly flushed red. She bolted into the bathroom, turned on the faucet, and splashed cold water on her face. Lin Qingshui, you have to control yourself. How about I clean this up a bit? I swept a pile of rose petals into the trash can. Lin Qingshui came out of the bathroom. Do you want to shower before sleeping? I already showered before coming out. What about you? I showered too. Then let's sleep. Lin Qingshui took a deep breath, sat on the bed, and threw a pillow onto the sofa. You sleep on the sofa tonight, I'll take the bed. Okay? No problem. I nodded slightly and lay down on the sofa. Just then, strange noises started coming from the floor above. Both our faces stiffened. Let's turn off the lights. About 20 minutes later, the noise from upstairs finally died down. Outside the window, the moon hung high in the sky. Xiao Wu, are you asleep? What's wrong with your voice? Is it a bit cold? Maybe you should come up here and sleep. But there must be a boundary line in the middle. No one is allowed to cross it. My eyes instantly lit up. I jumped from the sofa onto the bed. Sis, you're not allowed to move around recklessly, okay? I absolutely won't move. The room became silent, leaving only the sound of our breathing. Half an hour later, I suddenly snapped my eyes open. My consciousness entered the eternal library. Lin Qingshui had no idea my consciousness was inside the library. Her sparkling eyes stared at me for a while. Seeing that I was fast asleep, her entire body gradually relaxed. Then she gave me a random glare for no reason. The next day near noon, the sunlight through the window passed through the glass and shone onto the blanket. Lin Qingshui's phone suddenly rang. Who is it? Lin Qingshui impatiently groped around for her phone. It was a call from Li Tian. Qingshui, what's up with you? It's almost noon and you're still not back at school. Not yet. So, Lin? Qingshui felt something heavy pressing down on her. Xiao Wu, get off me right now. It was as if I was pinning her down. She straight up slapped me. Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu? Who what? Qingshui, you didn't come back to the room last night? Don't tell me you're with Li Tian. I've got something to deal with here. I'll explain to you later, okay? 10 minutes later, I pointed at one side of my face, where the handprint was clearly visible, then directly blocked the bathroom door. My face is all red like this now. Aren't you going to take responsibility? Lin Qingxue dazed out for a moment. Seeing that the handprint on my face fit her own hand perfectly, she couldn't help but burst out laughing. I'm sorry, this is so embarrassing. I was planning to hold it in, but I really couldn't. This handprint of yours just looks way too hilarious. I squeezed past Lin Qingxue, opened the toiletry kit on the sink shelf, grabbed a toothbrush, and squeezed out some toothpaste. I casually grabbed the rinse cup next to it and filled it. Brush your teeth first, then I'll take you to lunch. After eating, we'll head back to school together. But before we go eat, you have to help me with one thing. What else do you want to do? Go down to the supermarket and buy me a mask. This handprint probably won't fade for a few hours. True. Without a mask, how am I supposed to see anyone? Haha, you're right. Wait a sec. I'll definitely buy you one. That's both handsome and stylish to wear. When Lin Qingxue returned, I had finished cleaning up. Looking at the two masks in her hands, I asked curiously, why did you buy two? Isn't one enough? Lin Qingxue pouted. After putting on a black mask herself, she held out the other black mask to me. I felt like it. Put it on. It should be just enough to cover that handprint. I looked deep into Lin Qingxue's eyes, took the mask, put it on, and asked, what do you want to eat for lunch? Whatever. Don't say whatever. You choose. Then guess what I'm planning to take you to eat? Hot pot. Guessed right. Outside the hotel, after Su Xiaowu and Lin Qingxue left the building, walking along the street, behind the two of them, the figures of two men silently appeared. They were the ones who went to rescue Su Xiaowu last night. Security Bureau agents. I know, rest assured. If something really happens, even if I have to sacrifice myself, I will protect him well. What's wrong? Did something happen? Just received news. Someone has targeted Su Xiaowu, likely coming from the other side of the Pacific. It's all because of those Luo Luo fans. Don't know why they had to dox him online, just causing more trouble for us. Originally, his background was very clean. Going to school normally wouldn't have been an issue. Who knew his personal information would end up exposed? Add to that, due to the emergence of the 1 nanometer lithography technology in Huaxia, we are currently standing in the eye of the storm. Then this happens. Though the higher-ups moved quickly to suppress the matter, those foreign organizations would rather kill an innocent than let a target go. They absolutely won't miss any potential lead. With his identity, it's hard not to be watched. He and Lin Qingxue found a simple hot pot place. After eating their fill, the two stood waiting for the bus, preparing to head back to school. After boarding, Lin Qingxue took a seat by the window. He naturally sat down beside her, then took out his phone. He casually pulled a pair of earphones from his pocket. After plugging the earphones into the phone, he held one side out to Lin Qingxue. Want to listen to music? Sure. Without waiting for her to react, he directly took the earphone, slowly leaned over from his seat, and moved close to Lin Qingxue's face. With a serious expression, he placed the earphone in her left ear. Seeing him right in front of her eyes, Lin Qingxue's heart unconsciously began to beat faster. Why are you leaning so close to me? Just putting the earphone in for you. Why not put it in my right ear? Because the one I'm holding is the left one. After slowly putting the earphone on Lin Qingxue, he finally sat back in his seat. If you think the left side doesn't work, how about I swap it for you? Lin Qingxue gave him a direct glare. No need. He did it on purpose. Su Xiaowu definitely did that on purpose. It's almost the Mid-Autumn Festival in a few days. Do you want to go back to our hometown to celebrate? I'm not going back. There are only 3 days off. Traveling back and forth is too much trouble. What a pity. Since starting college, this is already the second Mid-Autumn Festival you haven't gone back. I really want to go back and see the fireworks festival on Zhuangyuanzhou Island. That was a scenic spot in their hometown, located in the middle of a large river where swirling currents deposited sand and stone, gradually forming a small island, which became a tourist attraction during holidays. Especially on major holidays like Mid-Autumn Festival. After getting permission, the management of the Zhuangyuanzhou tourist area would always organize a fireworks festival on the island. But since coming to the capital, where fireworks are strictly banned in the inner city, he hasn't seen fireworks in a very long time. Do you really want to see them that much? Speaking of which, since entering the Academy of Sciences and leaving Xiangnan, he also hasn't seen the fireworks at Zhuangyuanzhou in Xiangnan for a long time. It's just a bit of nostalgia, but it's just a wish. The capital doesn't allow fireworks. Not necessarily. How would you know? How about we make a bet? What do you want to bet? If there are fireworks on Mid-Autumn night, then you give me a kiss. How about that? Want to bet? What if there aren't any? If there aren't any, then I'll give you a kiss. That way you don't lose anything. Lin Qingxue gave him a sharp glare. I'd lose a lot. You know, only an idiot would bet with you. After returning to school, after helping Lin Qingxue buy food for her roommates, I walked her back to her dorm and waited. When I returned to my own dorm, Xu Pengfei's group still hadn't come back. I took my phone out and opened an app with a special icon on it. Immediately after the phone screen turned a solid blue. This was a small piece of software I casually created while I was still at the scientific research base. It didn't have any other use except for detecting various types of signal sources within a 20-meter radius around me. After confirming that the room had no surveillance or wiretapping devices, I took out my encrypted phone and called Wang Weimin. The call was quickly connected. From the other end, Wang Weimin's cheerful laughter rang out. Xiao Wu, didn't we just see each other yesterday? What's the reason for calling this old man today? Academician Wang, I plan to request a lab at Capital University. After that, I might need your side to coordinate some materials and equipment to be sent over here. Do you have a new idea? Yes. Regarding the necessary related materials, I'll compile a list later and send it to your inbox. At dusk, rows of military green trucks quickly entered Capital University, immediately attracting the attention of many people. The next day, I looked at this large, empty laboratory and the sophisticated equipment placed inside, then clapped my hands to cheer myself on. Let's begin. Over at the girls' dorm, since Lin Qingshui's group didn't have classes in the morning, they didn't go to the lecture hall. Li Qian was resting, while the other two roommates had gone to the school library to read. As for Lin Qingshui, she was monitoring the electronic stock board. This was also one of the reasons why she was favored by the professors. At Capital University, her sharpness in the field of her financial skills are extremely impressive. In just her freshman year of college, she used 200,000 RMB capital from her family to earn 300,000 RMB. Her profit rate reached nearly 150%. However, right now, beside the computer screen she was logged into, a notification for a new email suddenly popped up. After seeing this email, Lin Qingshui paused for a moment, then quickly moved the mouse and clicked to view it. This was an email sent from Capital University. Lin Qingshui quickly skimmed through the contents of that letter and immediately screamed with excitement right in the dorm. No way is this for real or a prank. Oh my god. Professor Zhang actually wants to take me as a student to fast track straight into a PhD program. The Professor Zhang she referred to is a famous finance professor at Tsinghua and also one of the few prestigious experts in domestic economics. He even participated in drafting laws regarding the economic sector and the initial bills. She originally intended to take the grad school entrance exam for him, but she didn't expect that this time she would be directly recruited for a PhD program without needing an entrance exam. As long as she finishes her undergrad, she can immediately start her PhD under him. Then she pulled out her phone and quickly sent a message to Su Xiaowu. Xiaowu, Professor Zhang Chunlan from my department, wants to fast track me into a PhD program. She is a leading domestic expert in economics. Li Qian leaned in close, looking at Lin Qingshui in shock and asked, Qingshui, the Professor Zhang you're talking about, isn't he the one who chatted with you before, saying he'd really welcome you to take his grad school exam? That veteran economics professor. In their school of economics and management, as long as they are students studying economics-related majors, basically no one hasn't heard the name of this veteran professor. That's right. Hurry and call the other two back. Lunch is on me today. Everyone, let's head out to eat. 1 week later, the phone on Su Xiaowu's person rang an alarm. He glanced at the caller ID. It was Wang Weimin calling. Academician Wang. This is Xiaowu speaking. Is something wrong? Normally, Wang Weimin wouldn't take the initiative to call him, especially now that it was past 9 p.m. Xiao Chu, I'm really sorry to bother you this late, but right now, there's an extremely urgent matter that needs your assistance. Wang Weimin paused for a moment, then continued, in your laboratory, how many nano-battle armors in total are currently operational? 9 sets. Good. In half an hour, military personnel will arrive by helicopter to pick you up and take you to the military district command. Please bring all 9 of those nano-battle armors. The military, just get over here first. The specific details right now are not convenient to disclose over the phone. Half an hour later, I brought the nano containers for the 9 nano battle armors from the lab and boarded the military helicopter. In the dead of night, the aircraft quickly moved toward the military district base in the capital. Has something happened for it to be this urgent? We aren't very sure. Our mission is only responsible for picking you up and bringing you there. Other matters are classified. I frowned slightly, but didn't say anything more. Over an hour later, I was brought to a military command center. Seeing the scene here, my brow furrowed even tighter. Seeing me walk in, Long Xinhua immediately stood up from his seat. There were no more polite pleasantries or asking about health. He led me straight to the front of the command center and ordered the soldier nearby to project an image onto the command center's large screen. Academician Su watched this video first. Immediately on the command center's large screen, a scene of a tropical rainforest appeared. The surrounding trees grew lush and towered into the sky, and in the center of the frame, several dogs wearing iron armor appeared. That's right, actual dogs. Their entire bodies were covered in steel, and their size was 2 to 3 times larger than normal dogs. Fierce fangs were exposed to the air, with thick saliva constantly dripping from their mouths. And when the saliva hit the ground, it gave off plumes of sizzling smoke. It clearly contained extremely strong corrosive properties. My expression immediately hardened. What is this? This is the reason. We urgently called for you this time. This is footage sent back from our national border 1 hour ago. The location is within the protection zone of a unit, a special forces team stationed at the border. Just 1 hour ago, while our soldiers were on a routine patrol, they discovered several monstrous hounds charging in from across the border. We speculate that these might be mutant creatures created by some border criminal syndicate. However, these mutant creatures are truly too bizarre. Not only are they unfazed by gunfire, but even when using fire to burn them, not a single hair on their bodies would ignite. Because of this, we have already sacrificed full-strength Special Forces Squad. As I listened to Long Xinhua's recount while looking at the various images on the screen, my heart rate suddenly began to spike violently. This is no longer just simple gene evolution. That's right, someone has actively interfered with the gene chains inside these hounds to make them undergo mutant evolution, even inserting other gene segments. What do you need me to do now? Currently, there are still over a dozen Special Forces soldiers inside the tropical rainforest, fighting these mutant hounds. If these mutant hounds break through the border defense line and infiltrate civilian living areas, the consequences will be unimaginable. Therefore, we need to deploy fighter jets now to deliver the nanosuits to the Special Forces there, so they can use the armor to stop their advance. Fine, but since they aren't proficient with the nanosuits yet, I'll need to remotely control these armors, enveloping our soldiers to fight. Furthermore, once this incident is over, I hope to obtain a complete corpse of those mutant hounds in that footage. I need to study their genetic sequence. For the first time, a serious look appeared on my face. I knew that within those mutant hounds, there were definitely secrets hidden that no one knew about. Around 1 a.m., I finally left the military headquarters. Of course, I couldn't go back to school at this hour, nor did I stay at the military guest house. In the dead of night, I rushed back near the school and found a comfortable hotel. After a quick shower and cleaning up, I looked at my phone. There was a message from over an hour ago. Lin Qingshu had sent a goodnight text. After sending a simple reply, I lay alone in the hotel room, beginning to think with a heavy heart. I needed to be alone to think carefully. What happened today seemed like a simple case of animal gene mutation. But for someone who possesses the eternal library like me, I had to consider more than that. Right at this moment, the notification bell on my phone rang repeatedly. I tilted my head and picked up the phone to check, finding it was a message from Lin Qingshui. Are you only resting this late? Did something happen to you? Pick up the phone. Seeing these messages, after taking a deep breath, my hands trembled as I held the phone, intending to reply to the text. As a result, in the next second, Lin Qingshui's call came through. After trying to steady my shaking fingers, I took a few more deep breaths, even running into the bathroom to splash several handfuls of cold water on my face to wake myself up a bit. Only then did I return to the room and pick up the phone with a normal tone. Xiao Wu, are you asleep? Not yet. Why shouldn't you be asleep by now? Woke up that fast? Can't sleep. Do you miss me already? A little bit. I just saw the message you sent over. Are you unhappy right now? Girls are naturally very sensitive. Just by looking at the content of the message I sent, she could already sense it. She guessed that something had happened to me and that my mood was terrible. Why would you say that? Must be telepathy, I guess. Either way, I know you're feeling down, which is why I called you. I'm afraid you have something on your mind, but have no one to talk to. I'm coming over to your place now, okay? If there's something bothering you, don't keep it bottled up, you can tell me. Don't be sad all by yourself, okay? Isn't it past curfew already? What's a little curfew? How can it stop this beautiful young girl from meeting her man? After hanging up the call with Xiao Wu, Lin Qingxuo quickly bounced out of bed. She tiptoed over to the wardrobe, quietly opened her closet door, picked out a casual outfit from inside, and changed out of the pajamas she was wearing. Lin Qingxue intended to open the dorm door to leave. Qingxue, it's this late, where are you going? Lin Qingxue hesitated for a moment, then immediately walked over to Li Tian. She nervously whispered, Qian, you're not asleep yet. Now is the time for you to sacrifice for your sister. What do you want? I have something to do and need to head out. Going to find Xiao Wu, Lin Qingxue silently nodded. Li Qian's eyes lit up, and she quickly crawled down from her bed, whispering, Sister, you saying that makes me not sleepy at all anymore. You're not planning to sneak into the boys' dorm, are you? That's so exciting. Lin Qingxue, feeling helpless, gave Li Tian a glare in the dark. What on earth is going on in that little head of yours? Xiao Wu isn't at the dorm tonight. He's staying at a hotel outside. I'm heading over to find him. What? Our great campus belle Lin? What are you planning to do? I get it. Tell me what's the plan. Climb out the window, of course. Back when their whole dorm went out together, they missed curfew because they returned late. It wasn't like there was no way. They found a classmate to sneakily open the lobby window of the girls' dorm for them, and then they climbed through to get inside. In a bit, we'll just sneak downstairs first. Once I confirm the dorm warden is asleep, I'll climb out the window. You're just responsible for closing the window for me. Li Jian nodded without a second thought, then continued to tease, fine. But let me tell you first. You two better play it safe, okay? Go, hurry up! The duo sneakily made their way down the girls' dorm stairs. First, they opened the iron gate, separating the dorm floors. The two quickly arrived at the lobby, on the first floor of the dormitory. The dorm warden's usual resting place was in a small room on the first floor. But right now, the lights in her room were out. Outside, one could still faintly see the moonlight scattered across the ground. Lin Qingshui and Li Tian quickly ran to the first floor lobby, next to the window by the wall. The two joined forces, and after carefully opening the window, Lin Qingshui nimbly climbed up from the floor. Beside the window, she turned her head to Li Tian. "Then I'm off. Remember to lock the window tight." Li Tian gave a hand signal, no problem. In the next second, Lin Qingshui quickly jumped through the window. She reached the ground, but who knows who left an empty soda can near the window. As soon as Lin Qingshui stepped down, she stepped right on the can, making a loud clattering sound. In an instant inside the warden's room, the lights suddenly flickered on. Which room's kids are these? Climbing through windows to break curfew all day long. Lin Qingshui had just hit the ground, and her expression shifted completely. "Sister, hurry and run. Take care of yourself." Then, Lin Qingshui immediately bolted forward. Li Tian hurriedly shut the window, glancing at the figure moving inside the room. Seeing that the dorm warden hadn't come out yet, she immediately booked it toward the hallway. That was a close call. What a close call. Half an hour later, Lin Qingshui knocked on the hotel room door, where I was staying. Seeing Lin Qingshui standing at the door with a smile, I immediately asked curiously, "How did you get out?" "Hey, you don't know that at our girls' dorm, the first floor lobby window can be opened from the inside." I climbed out the window. "I've traveled all this way just to see you. Are you really not going to let me in?" I made way for her. Once Lin Qingshui entered the room, she hopped onto the bed, flipped back the blanket, patted the empty spot beside her, and looked at me with an expectant face. She waved her hand saying, "Come here. Come chat with me for a bit to cheer yourself up." My slightly heavy face gradually showed a hint of a smile. After hiding my true emotions, I smiled and walked over to Lin Qingshui's side. "Coming over to my place this late? Aren't you afraid of me?" "I'm not afraid of you at all." I stared intently at Lin Qingshui, staring until her face began to turn red. "You don't keep looking at me like that. Give me a hug." Lin Qingshui froze for a few seconds, looking into Xiao Wu's eyes, which were filled with sorrow. Her heart suddenly ached for him. Even though I had hidden my emotions very well, she could still sense it. Before, you were such a proud person, with eyes always full of confidence and radiance. But now they were cloudy and gloomy, depressed and discouraged. Even though right now, on my face, there was still a lingering smile. But in my eyes, that brilliant spark from back then was inexplicably gone. Lin Qingshui reached out to hug me, then she felt my head swaying, constantly nuzzling into her chest, just like a little kitten looking for a bed. Lin Qingshui didn't say anything, just silently stroked my thick hair. Considering the amount of hair I have, this characteristic of mine really doesn't resemble a scientific researcher much at all. A long while later, when I looked up, she looked at me with a worried face and asked, "Tell me, did something happen to you? That's why you're unhappy, right?" I shook my head. "You can't say." I nodded slightly. Lin Qingshui took a deep breath, then she naturally lay down on my lap, looked up at me and smiled saying, "All right, if you can't talk about it, then don't." But right after that, she heard his stomach rumbling. "Are you hungry?" "A little bit," he thought. From tonight until now, first it was bathing, then to the military command center, now back near school. Up until now, he hadn't eaten anything at all. If Lin Qingshui hadn't mentioned it, it would be fine. But as soon as she did, he really felt a bit hungry. "So, do you want a late night snack tonight? Didn't you say before you didn't want late night snacks?" "Afraid of getting fat, I'm ordering for you to eat." "So do you want to eat? If you're inviting then, I can reluctantly join you for a bit. I'll only try a little, okay? Just a little. Maybe let's forget it. If you get fat by then, won't I have to take the blame? How about this instead?" "What?" "I'll go find a coin. Flip a coin to decide whether to eat late night snacks. Heads we eat, tails we don't. If the coin breaks, then no late night snack tonight, okay? Then forget it. No need to flip a coin anymore. In a bit, I'll have to trouble the lovely Miss Lin to help me. Eat some of the late night food. Just a little bit. Okay then, it's your treat. I'm not eating because I want to, okay? Right. There seemed to be no special reason. But ever since Lin Qingshui appeared, his mood seemed to have improved significantly. Very quickly, Lin Qingshui finished ordering the food. Since delivery would take about half an hour, Lin Qingshui swung the phone in her hand, looked up at him and asked, "It'll take a bit more time. Do you want to watch TV for a bit?" Having said that, she smiled triumphantly. "Let me tell you, I recently found a really great TV drama." He nodded slightly. Lin Qingshui immediately adjusted her position in his arms to a more comfortable one. After nuzzling back into his chest, she opened a romance drama she was following and quietly started watching. He didn't say anything either, just held Lin Qingshui like that, watching the movie with her on the bed. The night was still and the room was incredibly quiet. Besides the sound coming from the phone, there was only Lin Qingshui's giggling when she reached the funny parts. Moreover, she had a specific habit when watching movies. While in his arms, whenever she laughed, she liked to wiggle around. Not long after, Lin Qingshui suddenly paused. "What are you thinking about?" "Thinking about our future. Thinking about what our future home will look like. There will be a sofa and a rug that we chose together. There will also be an open balcony to catch the breeze, where we can even display pots. of flowers and plants grown by our own hands. In the kitchen, a pot of soup you simmered for me will be bubbling away. Maybe we could even adopt a little ginger cat together. When it starts to get dark, you'll stand by the floor-to-ceiling window at home, watching the city lights and the busy traffic outside. Wait until the door rings. I'll walk in with a smile and say, "I'm home." You'll run over to hug me, and the little cat will be tangling itself at your feet. The cat is mine. The starlight and moonlight outside the window are also mine. And you are mine too. After saying that, Lin Qingxue slowly looked up at me and smiled. Tell me, will we have a future like that? Of course. We will definitely love each other. Until we're 80 years old. Why? At 81 do we start fighting? How could that be? Suddenly, I really want to see how it is 60 years from now. To see if I'm still by your side. To find the answer. To how many children we'll have by then. Or if we'll go folk dancing together. Wait until the grandsons and granddaughters ask how I pursued you back then. I'll definitely tell them, no. It was your grandmother who pursued me first. When she was young, she was much cuter than you all. If the kids refuse to brush their teeth, then I'll tell them, if you don't brush your teeth from now on, you'll end up just like your grandmother, becoming a toothless old lady. Hey, you really are. You're the toothless old lady. You'll be the old man with not a single tooth left. Tonight was also my only night, not entering the Eternal Library to study. On previous nights, most of the time, I would be inside the Eternal Library, researching all sorts of scientific techniques. But today, I wanted to give myself a day off. Time began to slowly pass through the dark night. The central air conditioning in the room blew out, a cool breeze. But on my forehead, beads of cold sweat began to form. My handsome brows were tightly furrowed, my face full of pain and distortion. No, don't. I suddenly sat bolt upright in bed. Looking out the window, the horizon already showed a faint white light. Only then did I breathe a sigh of relief. Lin Qingxue, who was sleeping soundly beside me, was also startled awake by my scream. Rubbing her sleepy eyes, she immediately sat up and leaned against my chest, listening to my heart racing wildly, while looking at me worriedly and asking, "What's wrong? Did you have a nightmare?" In a daze, Lin Qingxue proactively sat down in front of me, smiling softly. It's okay. I'm right here by your side. Rest easy and go back to sleep." I took Lin Qingxue's soft hand, and after breathing a sigh of relief, I sincerely thanked her. Only then did I lie back down under the covers. But I, having just been jolted awake by a nightmare, couldn't let my heart settle down yet. In fact, a violent wave had begun to surge within me. The next day, Lin Qingxue woke up very early. "Qingxue, you're dressed up so formally. Are you planning to make your Su Xiao Wu drool just by looking at you? Careful or you won't make it back to school tonight. This is the first time the two of us are going to an amusement park alone together. So of course I have to dress up a little." Good grief, a grown girl really can't be held back. I looked at the incoming call from Wang Weimin. After hesitating for a few seconds, I finally picked up. "Mr. Wang, what is it?" "Xiaosu, the research results from the military side are in. Around when will you have time to stop by the military base and take a look? There's a major discovery. The gene encryption has been analyzed." "Is it urgent?" "Yes, the gene encryption found is very strange. This is a type of gene that has never appeared on Earth." "Encryption? Around when do you have time to come to the military research institute to take a look?" I hesitated for a few seconds. "Let's leave it for a while longer. I want to stay at school for a bit more." "Did something happen?" "No, not exactly. Maybe I've been busy lately and I'm a bit tired. I want to rest for a while." I never thought of myself as omnipotent, especially when dealing with these unknown things. Even though I had prepared myself to accept certain hypotheses right now, I still wanted to be secretly selfish for myself just once. The world won't stop spinning if anyone is missing. Honestly, sometimes I even think about just staying quietly like this in school, living out my student life. After graduation, I'd just be with Lin Qingxue, have a great relationship, then get married and have kids. Maybe I don't need to set such high demands for myself. Living a calm and content life is actually priceless. So how long do you plan to rest? This matter, perhaps only you can solve it. Currently, whether it's the researchers at the Academy of Sciences or the military researchers, everyone is regarding the gene encryption extracted from the biological mutant towns, feeling completely helpless. That's why he made this call to me. Perhaps I would have a way. I let out an uncertain sigh. "Maybe I'll give myself a long vacation for a while, sir." "I see." He finally let out a soft sigh. "That's fine too. Then just stay at school and get some good rest. What you've done for the country is truly more than enough already. Even if from now on, you never touch the field of scientific research again, it would still be enough to hold a vital position in the history of scientific research." I hung up the phone, but by the time the hand holding my phone slowly lowered, the smile on my face had completely vanished. 3 years ago, I didn't hesitate to head to the north to research lithography technology. What was it all for in the end? In front of the girls' dorm, Lin Qingxue excitedly walked up to me. She could clearly feel that my state of mind was a bit off, or rather, since that night, my condition had never truly improved. This was something she could clearly sense because she had seen a me full of vigor, fearing absolutely nothing, not the me of the present. Even though the exterior appeared very gentle, there was always a heavy aura surrounding me. This wasn't like me. Lin Qingxue smiled, gently reached out to take my arm. What's wrong? Nothing. Or is there work at the Academy of Sciences again? I remained silent for a long time, finally nodding slowly. Is it very serious? More serious than any problem I've ever encountered before. It might even cause an international shock. Once that gene code is confirmed to actually come from outer space and possess such bizarre capabilities, the world will fall into chaos. Lin Qingxue fell silent, remembering the days when I was just a boy who dozed off in class, needing her help to watch out for the teacher. But in the blink of an eye, I had reached things at this level already. And now what was my hesitation for? Was it because of her or the responsibility in my heart? She always knew my sense of responsibility was actually much stronger than what I showed on the outside. Am I truly afraid? Fearing I can't shoulder this responsibility? Thinking of this, Lin Qingxue suddenly stood on her tiptoes, gave me a light peck on the cheek, then unexpectedly let me go. She pretended not to care and said, Go. Go. Go back to where you're needed. I was slightly stunned. So we're not going to the amusement park today. Lin Qingxue smiled. You dummy. Between us, there is still plenty of time to go to an amusement park. What's the difference between going today or next time? Lin Qingxue took my hand. Even though I'm not sure exactly what you all are doing, haven't you done a great job before? You must always believe that. You aren't just my own personal son. With your abilities, you can become the sun for many people. More, of course, you can use your sunlight to shine upon everyone, but you're only allowed to have one girl, me, in your heart. On that point, I'm still very narrow-minded. Then Lin Qingxue looked at me, her eyes filled with a look of admiration. I always believed the man I fell in love with will always be the supreme hero wearing golden armor stepping on 5 colored clouds, standing proud in this world without any fear. My eyes flickered as I gently squeezed Lin Qingxue's small hand, my gaze gradually becoming more determined. Defiant against the world, a supreme hero who knows no fear. Can I really do it? Perhaps I can. 1 hour later, a military helicopter quickly took off from in front of the laboratory at Capital University. On the school's sports field, Lin Qingxue sat dazed on the grass watching the helicopter fade into the distance. After a long silence, she suddenly couldn't help but burst into a smile. This is the purest Su Xiaowu. I hope the boy I love the most will see all evil retreat and stay safe through everything. I'll wait at school for your return. North Desert Secret Research Base. 7th generation aerospace engine. Inside the supersized underground test site, at the center of a giant circular structure. It wasn't a traditional engine model, but a strange force field emitting a mysterious blue light, constantly distorting the surrounding light. Inside that force field, one could faintly see the shape of a miniature flight device. Su Xiaowu stood before the main control panel, data flooding the screen like a waterfall, the crystallization of his efforts over the past few months. Yajianguo Wang Weimin, Ludu, and the senior, members of the Academy of Sciences and Engineering, were standing behind him with bated breath, eyes locked onto the core area in the center. Start the Universal Drive Test Machine number 1. Initiate Level 1 Thrust Test. That miniature test machine in the distorted space did not rely on its own power, but followed the bending space and began to slide forward slowly, in a way that defied all common logic. The speed figures began to skyrocket. Although the initial speed wasn't mind-blowing, this wasn't acceleration generated by ordinary jet propulsion, but space itself carrying the flight device along. The entire command center erupted in thunderous cheering. Many white-haired veteran experts embraced one another. Well done, young man. You have once again achieved a glorious feat for the country and the people. This is an epic-making breakthrough. He looked at the stable data on the screen and the dreamlike scene in the center, his face showing a relieved smile as if a burden had been lifted. But deep within his eyes, there was a subtle gloom that was hard to notice. At the same time, at the finance department study hall of Capital University, Lin Qingxue had just finished an advanced financial theory class. She walked along the tree-lined path back to the dorm. The autumn sun filtered through the yellowing ginkgo leaves, casting dappled spots of light. Her phone buzzed once. The screen displayed a message from a special encrypted channel. Phase mission complete. Everything is fine. Our promise of a simple life is always in my heart. Return date TBD, but my heart has already returned to you. The corners of Lin Qingxue's lips involuntarily curled up into a radiant smile. She looked up at the deep blue towering sky in the north. There were vapor trails left by a plane there as clouds slowly drifted by. However, beneath the calm surface were surging undercurrents. That very night, while Xiaowu's team celebrated their initial success, a high-level encrypted emergency intelligence report was delivered to his temporary office. The situation is more complex than we imagined. This has moved beyond the scope of mere scientific research competition, but there are traces of unnatural interference clearly visible. I noted a sharp glint flashing in my eyes. I understood that in the coming days, my time would be split in two. During the day, I immersed myself in optimizing the warp drive theory, and planning for the next experiment. At night, I led the team to process the massive amount of data from the Eternal Library to search for any clues related to that mysterious gene segment. Lin Qingshui keenly noticed the fatigue and pressure I was hiding. She didn't pry too much, only silently sent me local specialties from home and shared interesting stories from school via video calls. The turning point came late one night at the Eternal Library. In an extremely obscure category, I discovered a record of a fallen ancient civilization. That civilization recorded something they called the primal source code, the basic information unit of the universe, which some segments of that mysterious gene chain shared an incredible mathematical similarity with, like a decayed form, or a fragmented manifestation of the primal source code, showing astonishing mathematical isomorphism. I reported to Ye Jiangguo and the higher-ups, we must stop them. If this type of power goes out of control, it could lead to the disruption of local physical laws and even cause unpredictable spacetime disasters. A war without gunfire quietly pulled back its curtain to begin. The highest authorities authorized Xiao Wu. At the necessary moment, he could utilize a portion of the classified technology from the Universe Project, coordinating with relevant departments to conduct infiltration and intelligence gathering at the lab. Target eliminate if deemed necessary. Capital University had entered the final term. Lin Qingxue stayed up late at the library to review, preparing for an important major exam. She rubbed her tired eyes and packed her books to leave. She discovered a missed call on her phone and a message, both from Xiao Wu's encrypted number. The message only had 2 words, back urgently. Lin Qingxue immediately called back, but the system reported it couldn't connect. She practically sprinted back to the dorm to open her laptop, trying to find clues from the news. International news remained silent and peaceful, but on several tech forums and social networks, vague rumors began to spread about unusual geological phenomena occurring in a remote area, accompanied by short but powerful electromagnetic pulses. Some witnesses claimed to have seen twisted bands of light appearing in the sky. The atmosphere at the North Desert base was tense to the extreme. I wore a specially made protective suit, standing in the cockpit of the improved Universe No. 1 prototype. Ye Jiangguo gave instructions over the radio, his voice carrying a hard-to-conceal anxiety. Xiao Wu, be careful with everything. Just transmit the data back. Safety first. Understood. I'll deliver the gift on time. The blue-purple warp flare appeared again. Universe No. 1 silently slipped into the warped space, accelerating instantly, racing toward the target area thousands of miles away. High-intensity biological energy field detected, along with space-time fluctuations. Target is attempting to open a stable wormhole. Drop the gift. An inconspicuous device detached from the spacecraft, falling toward the target. The moment it approached the mass of flesh, the device activated, releasing a powerful directional energy pulse. The creature of flesh and bone let out a sharp, voiceless laugh, convulsing violently. The distorted space around it began to oscillate wildly like the surface of water. A sudden incident occurred. That mass of flesh suddenly shot out a beam of disastrous deep blue energy, bolting straight toward Universe No. 1. Even though I tried my best to dodge, the spacecraft was still grazed. The flank alarms blared instantly. The cockpit was damaged. The right engine's power dropped. The warp field became unstable. I felt a cold mental shockwave, impacting my consciousness directly, arousing a desire for violence and destruction. The Eternal Library automatically activated. An invisible mental barrier formed at the edge of my consciousness, blocking this attack. But the intense mental confrontation left me momentarily dazed. I focused my entire spirit without holding back, shunting most of Universe No. 1's reserve energy into the warp drive, creating an even stronger local spatial distortion, like an invisible giant hand, slapping down hard on that still struggling mass of flesh, along with the riddled laboratory underneath. It wasn't an explosion, but a kind of forced spatial leveling that produced a heavy muffled thud. The glow below, the warped space, and that terrifying creature vanished without a trace in an instant, leaving behind only a completely flattened area, like a valley passed over by a giant's plow. A week later, by Wyoming Lake at Capital University, Lin Qingxue and I sat shoulder to shoulder on a bench by the lake. The sunset dyed the water golden. My face was still a bit pale. Lin Qingxue leaned gently on my shoulder, holding my slightly cold hand. It's good that you're back. Her tone carried a sense of relief. After surviving a disaster, in a daze, I promised you I wouldn't disappear for no reason anymore. Lin Qingxue looked up, looked into my eyes, and said seriously, Xiao Wu, I know you're doing something very important. Something perhaps very dangerous. Something I might not fully understand. But you must remember, well, no matter how high or far you fly, this place will forever be your anchor. I might not be able to fight by your side, so I'll stay here and keep a light on for you. I wrapped my arm around Lin Qingxue and held her hand tight. My gaze turned toward Lin Qingxue, shimmering like the waves on the water. This world is much bigger than we imagined, and far more complex as well. There is light, but there is also deep, endless darkness. The path I've chosen is destined to be filled with unknowns and challenges. but precisely because there are people I want to protect, and a wonderful presence like you. I have the courage to face that darkness. I turned back to look deeply at Lin Qingshui. Once this is all over, I'll take you to see the fireworks. Not at Zhuangyuan Isle, but perhaps at a place where you can see the very curvature of the earth. Lin Qingshui was slightly stunned, and immediately after, tears of shock and disbelief welled up in her eyes. She nodded vigorously. Okay, I'll wait for you. As night slowly fell, the campus streetlights flickered on one by one. The two leaned against each other on the bench, neither saying another word. The story of Su Xiaowu and Lin Qingshui, of humanity's journey through the vast sea of stars and the trials of facing the immense universe, had only just turned to a brand new chapter. Their destinies were now tightly woven together.